Hey, we are live, and today you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. We're going to talk about credit hacks. I'm going to be revealed some information about me and my credits, and we're going to find ways, like hacks, on how we can bring this credit score by 200 points in 1 year. Is that even possible? We're going to talk about all that coming up after the intro.
Hey, yeah. It's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up, guys? What's up? How are you guys doing? And welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. If you're new here, I create content to motivate you in increasing your net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. So, if this is something that interests you, or you started your financial journey, you're about to start, make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. We are only at 3 subscribers away from hitting 1K. Our goal this year is to hit 1K before December. And at this rhythm, if this happens, we could hit it by next week. So, shout out to everyone who subscribes. Thank you for my subscribers. And thank you for anyone who's joining as well, my new subscribers. We create contents, guys, for you. I'm here. I'm going to be very dedicated to YouTube this year in 2022. So yes, we're going to go through this journey together, and that's why we're here, right? We're here to go through the journey together and get some gains, get some knowledge along the way, and see how we can increase that net worth as high as possible. So shout out to everyone who's here early. Shout out to you, J Bones. 3 more. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to you. And guys, make sure you tune in. So as soon as I hit 1K, I'll screenshot it right away, and then I'll make a community tab and I'll announce like a 1K celebration party. So I'm preparing some things about it. But yeah, we'll have giveaways. All right, we'll have giveaways and we'll have a celebration. If anyone wants to come in the panel, it will be a call-in show as well. So tune in for that, and we'll go from there. Shout out to you, J Bones. Wally, thank you for being here early. Thank you, thank you. And guys, please share this stream because it's not necessarily just for the channel if we get more views, but this stream specifically is a very important stream. All right. There is a lot of games and knowledge we're going to share with you today. And everyone needs a better credit score. A better credit score is very important. All right. And we're going to talk about the importance of a credit score, how to keep track of it, and we're going to do a simulation. You guys know how deep I am in simulations. It's kind of like a practice on how, before you hit the real life, right? So if you guys can learn from this, you guys can learn from the simulation, and before we apply it in real life, well, hey, just increase the rate of your so we're going to of your learning curve, right? So we're going to introduce the guest, but before I introduce the guest, I just want to go very quickly to the chat. All right. Wally, shout out to you again. Hey, chat. GLC different. Shout out to you. I think that's the first time I see you here. But hey, not happy to see you here. Welcome on board. And please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. DJ Flip, how are you doing? Hey, JC, what's up, everyone? What's up? All right. So, um, without further ado, I wanted to introduce our guest today. To me, it's a big YouTuber. It's Tasha, and we'll introduce her. So let me see if she's ready. She is. Let's go. How are you doing? Can you
I
hear
am
me?
doing well. How are you?
Very well, very well. How are you?
Great.
Right, all right. So the reason why I invited Tasha on a panel today, it's because she create content. She's actually a YouTuber, create content, and if I don't mistake, I believe you hit 4K, 4K today, correct? 4K
Yes,
subscribers.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And yes, guys, she actually make content on how to improve your credits. She has great contents on that. She has lots of games, and today she decided to join us on the panel and share some games with us. So shout out to you and thank you for coming on this panel.
I really appreciate it. Congratulations to you early because you're gonna get to 1,000 subscribers.
All right, all right. Well, it's a team effort. I have J Bones to help me out. I have all the chat to help me out. But thank you everyone, and thank you as well, Tasha. So our channel, guys, is Major Change Group. I'll go into I'll share our links in the description as well if you want to check more information about it. So yeah, make sure you check it out. But guys, before we get on the topic, I wanted to ask her a little bit about herself. Would you mind, for those people who don't know you, talk a little bit about you? What do you do, and go from there?
Of course. So I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, and on my channel, we talk about credit and budgeting. The main thing with that is that you want to get those things in order. One, so that you can get your money straight, and
Mm-hmm.
then two, get your credit really good so that you don't have to ask people to co-sign for you. And then three, we talk about credit card hacks so that you can get money from your credit cards opposed
Mm-hmm.
to paying them money. How can you earn money from your credit cards?
Interesting. And but before we get there, I wanted to ask you, like, when you were in high school, did you ever thought that you would be making videos about the credit card? Like, what kind of person were you in high school?
You know what? Not in high school, but in maybe after college. I would
Mm-hmm.
say after college, I was just reading the magazines on building your money and things like that. And I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. So right after college, that's when I had found Dave Ramsey. And so at that point, I had cut all the credit cards because I was doing the baby steps. So the first baby steps is to one, get $1,000, two, cut the credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So probably by the time I had graduated from college, I had maybe 4 or 5 credit cards. So I had some charge cards and then regular cards. So charge cards are, let's say, like store cards, dealers, JC Penney's, Best Buy. And then I had maybe 3 major credit cards, 1 Citi and then 2 Bank of America. But the thing is, it wasn't fast forward to probably 2019 when I really started doing credit card hacks and
Mm-hmm.
making money from credit cards, like really transitioning from like the way you think about credit cards to like a whole nother way.
We'll definitely get into that later. But let me ask you this: what
Yeah.
are you currently doing right now to engineer your wealth?
Well, what I'm doing right now to engineer my wealth, even though I love talking about credit cards, so this goes back to when I got out of college.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a notebook. I have an old notebook from when I was in college. And I can remember driving with one of my friends. And I was like, you know what? I really want to teach people how to budget. And years ago, I had created like my own little plan, and I was gonna go and teach, like to high school students or something like that, but it didn't work out. And then
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I had credit card debt. So I remember telling her I want to teach people how to get their money straight, but since I had debt myself, I felt like I could be a hypocrite. So I just, I always had a passion for budgeting. So on the back end, let's say like friends or family, I would kind of help them from time to time. And then fast forward to 2019, I was thinking about a YouTube because I wanted to create a YouTube channel. So first I was gonna do it maybe like on Zumba and then maybe vlogs for restaurants.
Zumba, like
And
dancing?
yeah, like I was a
Latino
Zumba
dance.
instructor. Yeah, I was a Zumba instructor. Now
Oh,
it's a big
okay.
difference between choreographed dancing and regular dancing. So I'm not like a good regular dancer, but
Mm-hmm.
choreographed dancing, I can do that if I learn the dance. But it's been a while because once I started YouTube, I said because I taught classes at a gym and I got paid to do it. But
Wow,
once
that's a
I was gonna
professional
get
right
into
there.
YouTube, Yeah, and that was like a little side hustle. So I always been trying to figure out me like a little side hustle. So I did that first, maybe a year and a half. And then I said I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. So I'm not gonna do the classes anymore. So I stopped
Hmm.
doing that. And just every now and then when they kind of needed me, and plus I was getting my gym membership free. So that was a perk of doing
Perfect.
it. And on the side at my church, I would do things with the college ministry and stuff.
Mm.
And so I was just like, I'm going to do budgeting. So I started the YouTube channel in February of 2019.
Oh, wow.
And I was doing travel, budgeting, and kind of credit cards. I was trying to do a little bit of everything. But, now that we're in the YouTube thing, you want to kind of stay maybe like two or three kind of topics. And
Mm.
so here recently, I've been mainly just focused on budgeting, credit cards, and things like that.
So
And
basically,
so,
what I hear is basically you're doing side hustles to basically help you make more income and leverage more credit. And the fact that you also end traveling, you're probably using credit as well to get those rewards when it comes to traveling. Is that correct?
well, and you know what? Because it's so funny. Because even with the YouTube, I got monetized December of last year,
Oh, okay.
but I don't use any of the money for my personal life. I use the YouTube money to put into, so it's my YouTube business, and so I use the YouTube money for my business.
Hmm.
So buying lights, cameras, whatever I need
Plants
for
behind you.
the business. Yeah, I do that. So, but I think it all goes back to, I say the main thing for me is getting your money straight even before you even think about credit cards.
Understood, understood. And actually, that's exactly where I'm at in my life right now. So we're going to talk. Like I got my money straight basically this year. I was actually in a negative net worth, and I jump into like a six-figure network in a year. So now
Oh
it's time
wow.
to actually start paying attention. So I'm very curious. I'm going to be the student today learning about
Right,
those credit hacks. But the last question before we move to the topic, based on everything,
right.
your journey so far, your financial journey, everything you've been doing, what would you say is your biggest lesson you've learned so far?
I would say the biggest lesson, I was on Marlene's channel, Marlene TV, Living Your Best Life. And I was telling about a time, this was maybe 9 years ago, when I had lost 26% of my income.
Mm.
And so I have my house and all these things. So to lose 26% of your income, like that's devastating, right? But because I had my money straight, it didn't, I wasn't just eating bologna sandwiches because I got scared for a minute, because I was traveling. I was comfortable at the time, even though I wanted to do other things like getting other jobs and stuff. But I, it when that happened, it really helped me to understand that my foundation was good. And
Mm.
so that's why I always talk about the foundation. And so, I mean, even, with finance, it's so many levels to it. So I'm
Hmm.
more so on the basic level, getting your foundation straight. And so that's where I'm at. My foundation is good. My debt is gone, except for my house and my student loan. So when you said your net worth, so my net worth is probably,
Yeah,
because I
because
have
of
my
the
house
house
and my
and the student loans. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
so
I'm
I have
saying.
my house and my student loans, but I don't have any consumer debt.
Mm.
And then I was paying off. I got a new car last year, so it was like $20,000, and I basically paid it off in a year. I only
Wow.
owe like $1,000 left on it, and so, but I'm gonna get it paid off this month. Maybe like next week, I'm gonna pay it off.
Shout
And
out
so
to
that's
you.
why going back, yes, I'm just very excited about it. So one, that's why I really stress getting your finances in order. So when things kind of happen, especially like with 2020, you will still be okay, even if it's just for a little while.
Mm, absolutely. And yes, I agree with you. Definitely get your foundation, guys. If you have a strong foundation, regardless of whatever wind blows and try to put your empire down, your foundation will support that and will it will help you raise back up. Definitely agree with that, and shout out to you for mentioning that. So we're going to jump on the topic, and we're going to try to respect your time. We're going to try to make it as quick as possible. But in the meantime, let me go to a quick chat right away. Simbi, Sim Zero, you're listening. Shout out to you. It's the first time I see you here. Welcome in. Welcome to Wealth Engineering. Make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you more. The Intentional Millionaire, a friend of the channel. We
Hey,
had him a couple of
intentional
times.
millionaire.
Yes, yes. So showing support. Hola, thank you for coming here. Cash flow hunter. The government cannot tax credit cards. Facts, facts, facts. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. And blind guy. Good day
Yes,
to
my guy,
everyone.
his wife, their life. They have an amazing channel too.
Yes, yes, the greatest. Hey, his introductions. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. Hopefully, I can be half as good as he is one day, and when he introduces guests on the panel. But I'm taking
I
notes. But
know.
hey, shout out to you for everyone here. Make sure you hit the like. Please share this video because we're going to hit the topic, and this is important topic that everyone needs because everyone is dealing credits in some levels, and if there are hacks that you can do to increase your credit score so that you can leverage other people's money to make more money for you, then that's definitely the way to go. You can reach to your goal a
Right.
lot faster, right? If I could do that this year, I think I would probably be able to hit the million. Uh, Last
Right.
year, because I have a bad credit, and I'll show you guys my credit. But because I have a bad credit, I was begging people to, I was begging the bank, begging everyone to borrow $50,000. I found this investment. It was like written in stone. Like if you invest $50,000 in January, you could retire by December and get the income, the monthly income to pay my bills. I was like, oh my god, I want to do it so bad, but I couldn't get the loan anywhere, guys. I couldn't get the loan anywhere. It's because I have a bad credit, and the reason why I have a bad credit is because I used to have great credits for like my entire 20s, right? All my 20 years, I had like 780. Never went down. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to leverage credit. So I never did anything. I only bought a car
Mhm.
at some point that was like $21,000. That's the only thing I did with my credit score. Then I lost my job a couple times. I was doing business and I was doing startups. And while I was doing startups, I wasn't getting an income. So around that
Mm.
time, I went down all the way to like 400, 500. And then it took me like a
Wow.
couple years to just paying off my car. Basically, I didn't do any hacks. I just basically pay off my car, and then I had to declare. It's not like a bankruptcy, but it was like a debt consolidation. I did
Mm.
that. So
Okay.
yeah, so basically for 5 years I have to pay this debt, and I can't really do any loans because of that. Because whenever
Mm.
it goes on my credit, it shows as if I did a bankruptcy. So
Oh, wow.
at the time I didn't know much. I was not making any money. According to my some people, that was the best thing I could have done. The going back from now, maybe I would take less risk in my business to be able to not get into this level. But at the time, I was throwing everything, every money I had in my business, and but I'm happy I did it because I wouldn't know anything that I know now if I didn't go through that journey. So
Mhm.
this year, like I said, I 10x my portfolio, and and it seems that next year is going to be in the same thing. So now it's time to
That's great.
now the foundation is there. Let's get into it. So, what would you say? Like, why is it important to have a good credit score?
Okay. It's important to have a good credit score. One, you want to get low interest rates,
Mm.
and then two, you want to, get high credit limits. Almost still kind of like some bragging rights in there too. But I would say the main thing is that you want to get those lower interest rates. So let's say if you're
Mm.
getting a car, a house, or those things, you want to get the lowest interest rate that you can.
And those lower interest rate, they might not be like you might not feel them if you're buying something for 5, 10,000. But once you get in a house, like 500, 600, yeah, any. 1% it can make a huge difference in those
I
rates.
say
So
even with a car, it's a big interest rate because last year when I was getting my car, I didn't. I was just like, how is my credit score doing? But see,
mm,
I'm with a credit union, and at that time, my credit score was a 681, and so I was just like, With the credit union, I was able to get a 2.19% interest rate on
mhm,
my car. And so that's the difference of a couple of $100. Let's say if I would have went with a bank,
mhm.
maybe my with a 681 credit score, I would have gotten maybe like 4 or 7%. And that can really make a big difference.
Yeah.
So, but with me, I probably could have did a 1.79 because I could have got the loan for 3 years, 36 months. But I had originally did it for 60 months, and I said I was when I got the loan, I said I was gonna pay it off in 30 months, but I ended up paying it off, so I'm gonna pay it off in a year. So I really could have got it at a 1.79, but I think I've only paid maybe 340 in interest
Mm.
in a
And I think
year.
you actually tackle a little bit on my next question. I was going to ask you, like, what's the side effect of having a low credit score? Like, how limited is your life with a bad credit score? I mean, I know because
And I think that's a great question because it's a big difference between having no credit and bad credit.
mm,
So if you have no credit, let's say, you're 18 and you don't have a credit score, I wouldn't say it's bad, but do you have money? So let's say you want to go get a car. Do you have $20,000? Have you been saving money to get a car? So then if you pay cash for a car, it's not going to matter. But let's say you have bad credit. So you had bad credit at the time. Why do you have bad credit? And then that's really going to hurt. Let's say if you're going to buy a car because you don't have any money, or
mm,
if you're going to buy a house, then you're going to get denied. Or even if you're going to get an apartment, you're probably not gonna you're gonna either get denied or you're gonna have to pay a lot of money on the back end. So that's why it's important to have a good credit score.
mm,
But I would say, let's say, because I did a video maybe like last year, and I said, would you rather have $100,000 or 850 credit score? Because see, the thing is, if you have an 850 credit score and you don't have any money, what is 850 credit score going to do for you? So I would rather have $100,000 than
Thank you for saying this. Thank you for saying this because it's so funny that you brought this up. I was actually trying to get another guest like a couple months ago to join the podcast to talk about credits. She's actually in my city as well, and she's going viral because she has this paid ads. I think she's the only one who's doing this service in Montreal. Like I think it's the same as you, but as a consultant too. So she's made a
oh,
business out of
okay.
that. So I was trying to get her on my podcast to talk about it, and one of her had was saying basically, would you rather get an 850 score or $100,000? And I'm like, man, and she was making the case that an 850 score was better. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you me right
No
now
way. Like,
with what I know? I can turn $100,000, especially in crypto. I can turn $100,000 into
exactly.
millions
That's
in
what
in a
I'm
bull
saying.
run. Like, so there's
So
no
that's
way I
why
would. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
exactly. So this is the thing about credit. Why are you using credit? So
Mm,
that's the number one question before you even start using credit. Because like you said, like an 850 credit score, even because see the thing is, even with credit cards and things like that, if you have a low income, even if you're going to get a card, they're going to ask you how much is your monthly rent, and then how much is your income for the year. And if it's low, then you're still not going to get approved for the car. Or let's
mm,
say if you're asking for 20,000 and
mhm.
you have a low income, but you have an 850 credit score, you might not get 20,000.
And I've
So
been
it
there. I
doesn't
mean,
matter
not
if you have an 850 credit score.
yeah. I mean, I haven't been. I don't think I hit 800 yet, but I've been there with 780 at least. And man, I mean, at the time I was a student, right? So part time money. I think
Mm-hmm.
the highest I made as a student was 27,000 in a year, which for a student is great, right? I had three cars. I had three cars, but
Right.
yeah, you can't do much with a high credit score if you don't know what to do with it or if you don't have a higher
Exactly.
income. But thank you for saying that.
Mhm.
Thank you for saying that. I'm happy you brought it up.
Yeah.
So my other
And so
question
that's
for you.
the one
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say before we move on, that's the one thing that I agree with Dave Ramsey on because, because I love Dave Ramsey, but he doesn't like you to use credit cards. So, like I said in the beginning, when I had did the Dave Ramsey plan, I cut all the credit cards up, but I didn't close them. But I think that helped me to get my foundation. And
Mm,
so, even when I was in college and maybe even a little bit after college, like I have paid my fair share of interest on credit cards. But
mm.
now, within probably, let's say, the past 4 or 5 years, I don't pay interest on credit cards. I understand how to use my credit cards, like, wisely, because I use my credit card like my debit card.
Mm.
But on the same hand, he says you don't need to have a credit card. You can still get a house, you can still rent a car. And I think it's true, but I still feel like, why are you wanting to use the credit? And that's what you should ask yourself before you start doing these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. Now, my question to you now is, how do you keep track of your credit score? Sorry.
Right. So how I keep track of my credit, especially here lately. So I think it was like September or October. I was gonna apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card. And so with that credit card, it had some stipulations. So you couldn't apply for five personal credit cards
Mm-hmm.
within the last 24 months. So usually what I do, I pull my credit report from the annual credit report.com. And so I've been doing this for years. Like I was cleaning out one of my closets downstairs, and I think I had a credit report from like 2011. And
Wow.
so that's where I go to pull my credit report. But now with my credit cards, I can pull my Chase credit card. I can pull my credit report from there. But you
Mm-hmm.
can do Experian. There's so many places that you can pull your credit report and your credit score. But
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure to pull all three. So here on the annualcreditreport.com,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say until April of 2022, you can pull your credit report weekly, but I think I would say pull it monthly because that's typically your creditors report,
Mm-hmm.
your monthly standings monthly. So I pull mine I do it from the annual credit report, but sometimes I do it from my credit card too. But then, and I can get my credit score from my credit card as well. And then, so I check mine kind of monthly. I check
Okay.
it monthly.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
even in Canada we can get Equifax as well. So I'm wondering if we can actually, as Canadians, do that. But I know I'll share another one that I do for free. That for Canadians, I'll
Yeah.
share that later. But just out of
Okay.
curiosity, is that report, is it a paid or is it free? Like, how does it work?
No, this is free. So, because
Oh,
see,
really?
typically you're supposed to be able to pull a free credit report yearly, but I want to say in 2020 they had it to where you could pull it weekly, from everything that was happening in 2020, just to make sure that, like no theft or anything like that, was people opening up credit cards and stuff on your
Mm-hmm.
with your information. So they said you can pull your credit report weekly until they did it till 2021, and then they extended it until 2022.
Mm. Hey, shout out to Wally for mentioning that. We'll get into that later. Hey, do you have it too in the States? Do you have Credit Karma in the States?
Yeah, we do have Credit Karma, but I don't use Credit Karma myself.
You don't like Karma?
No, I don't have anything against it. I just don't use it. I always pull it from the annual credit report, and then in I want to say September, October, I went on to Experian.com, and
Mm-hmm.
then that's how I pull my credit score. Because what I'll do is it never fails. Every month when I go on there, there's some kind of free trial where I can unlock all of my credit scores. But you
Mm-hmm.
want to pull your FICO 8 or 9, not your Vantage score, because your Vantage score is too inflated, and you'll be thinking you got like an 800 credit score, and you really got like a 600.
Mm.
So you really want to get your FICO 8 or FICO 9.
Okay.
because
Okay.
that's what they're gonna pull for your credit cards or auto loans.
Very quickly, what would be the 5 co 8 and 5 co 9? Like what? Very quickly, what is that? Sorry.
Well, the FICO 8 and the FICO 9, that's just for like regular reporting. So if you're gonna get a car or a credit card, they're gonna pull your FICO 8 or FICO 9. But I want to say the Vantage score, it's I don't know what additionally it reports, but usually it reports very high. And so I don't like to pull my Vantage score. And then they have a FICO 3, and I believe the FICO 3 is for when you're gonna buy a house.
Okay, I see. I see. All
Yep.
right. Very quickly, I'm going to ask you my next question. Basically, what's the process of credit score? But before I get there, what's the process basically to improve your credit score? But before I get there, I want to give
Mm-hmm.
a couple shout out. I see you guys are being very active in the chat. Thank you guys very much.
Hey,
Marlene,
Marlene TV.
Marlene.
Marlene, she's very cool.
All right, Marlon City. Well, thank you for coming here and supporting the channel. Please hit the subscribe and like button, and hopefully we
Let's
can.
get to 1,000 in this stream.
Yes,
Let's get to
absolutely.
1,000.
All right, all right. Well, yeah, she's being very active in the chat. Thank you very much for showing you love and support. And what J Bones, thank you, man. Thank you for keeping them honest. Make sure you hit the like button. And you guys are doing pretty well on the like button so far, so that's good. Credit Karma, she got a point because Credit Karma only does 2 of 3 credit unions. Yes, that's a good point. Actually, that's the one I started with. Again, I'm not doing any
Mm-hmm.
active hacks or anything else. So I'm definitely going to check the annual credit report. I'll
Right,
definitely going to check that after
right.
this stream and see if I can do it as a
Mm-hmm.
Canadian. But I'm happy that you guys can do it, even Credit Karma in the States, because I use that as a Canadian. So hopefully I can use annual credit report as well and pull my
Yeah,
monthly.
because you'll be surprised. So you have your 3 credit bureaus. You have your Equifax,
Mm-hmm,
Experian, and Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And
mm-hmm,
say like I would say with Chase, they pull your Experian, but see, like I'm a part of the Navy Federal Credit Union, and they
oh,
pull your TransUnion. So, and then some of them, they don't, your creditors don't report to all of them. And so that's why sometimes one of your credit scores might be a little bit higher than the other.
mm-hmm.
So that's why it's good to pull all of your credit scores.
All right, all right. All right, so let's get into the deeper part. Now, I want you to give me the process because I like the step by steps, but if you had to look at the entire steps, right? What would you say like
Mm-hmm.
the process of improving your credits? Like how do you start and how do you get to the desired goal, right? So if you had to overlook the
Right.
overall process, what would you say?
Okay. So before we get into the steps, first, your credit score, really all your credit score is to tell your creditors how good are you with paying your debt. And
Mhm.
then there's 5 components of the credit score. So you have your payment history, your credit utilization, your length of credit, your credit mix, and your new credit. And your payment history and your credit utilization are 35 and 30%. So that's 65% of your credit score. So if you're paying your bills late and then you have high debt on your credit cards, you're going to have a low credit score. So what I'm talking about on my channel right now, if you want to improve your credit score fast, I would, one, pull your credit report and your credit scores from each of the credit bureaus. Two, get you a pen and paper and print them out and really take a look at each of them to see what it's reporting. Is
Mhm.
everything reporting correctly? Then three, we're gonna make a list of things that we need to work on. So one, is it reporting that we're paying our bills late? Which one of those creditors are we paying late? Two, do we have high credit utilization? So each credit card or personal loan, write those down to, how much do you owe on those? Usually what I would do your credit cards first,
Mhm.
then maybe your personal loans, and then like the student loans and your mortgage, I would do those last.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're they're definitely the biggest chunk. But
Yeah,
oh
because
yeah,
it's
really,
gonna
you
take
would
a
have
little
done
bit
the credit
longer.
card first? And then
What
your
was that?
personal loan. Okay. So yeah, so basically you would have done the credit card first and then your personal loan. And that
Yes,
means you
credit card
basically pay them
first.
off.
Yes, yes. But in those things, so you're writing those down because first we're just writing things down to see where we're at. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the most important thing because a lot of people don't want to take a look at it and they don't know where they're starting. So that's why I say do that first. Then once you're writing it down, put it, let's say even if you have collections, but I would say do the active things first
Mm-hmm.
before the
Passive.
collections things.
Okay,
Do those
okay,
things first.
okay.
So
And sorry, keep going. Yeah, I was going
okay,
to
so
I was going to ask a question very
yeah,
quickly.
you
For
can, you
cash flow hunter brought, and I was going to bring this up at some point, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can clarify this for us. But I had this concept too that it's good to keep, like, you don't all the way close your credit
can,
because banks don't really like people to pay them off. So I don't understand. And what would you say, like, to read his comment? Banks
right,
don't like customers who pay their credit well. They want
hmm,
to lend at a higher rate as possible. That's
right,
true.
right.
But what would you say about that? Is it good to pay off your credit cards as fast as possible or your credit line as fast as possible? Or is it good to reduce it kind of like as low as possible, but still leave it open? And like, what would you say is the best route to move forward with that?
I say pay it off. So I say pay it off, but have so that's where we'll get into because see, first we're just talking about how to get there. And
Mm-hmm.
so then I'm gonna get to the hacks of improving your credit and then kind of talk about what the cash flow hunter is talking about because I do kind of agree a little bit, but there is a way to do it.
All right, all right. Well, let's
So
get to the process. All right, all right, all right. So,
yeah,
so basically,
so first,
take notes, pay
yeah.
off with the actives, and then you move with the passive and long terms, or in my case, for example, the correction, like the debt and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and move with the bigger stuff.
Right. So if you want to improve your credit score, I would say even by January. If you want to improve your credit score fast, the quickest way that you can do that is by decreasing your credit utilization because with your credit utilization, you really should be 30% or less, but I say zero. But if you're pulling your credit report and you're maxed out on all of your credit cards, if you have the money set aside, then do it. But if you don't have the money set aside, start where you can. So just create a debt snowball and do the lowest to the highest and then just chop away at it. And then if
Mm,
you have, and then I say you should be doing a budget. And then when you're doing your budget, see if you have any extra money coming in and try to tackle it as fast as you can, but start where you can. So
mm.
here's where I want to say the credit hunter, here's where he's saying, because see, like for me, I have about 7 or 8 credit cards. So I have about 7 or 8 credit cards. But like I said, I don't have a balance on any of my credit cards.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think it was September or October. It was on Rochelle Adamson's budget channel, and she was saying that she was doing like a credit card hack where she would pay her credit cards every like 5 weeks, and
Mm,
it improved her credit, and it improved my credit. Cause see, I was maybe like at a 699. I was at like a 699, a 689, and maybe like a 681. And I was wanting to apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, but you had to have over, you really had, people were saying you should have over a 700. And I kind of want to go back because some people might say, well, you know, my credit score, right now, my credit score ranges from 721, 750, somewhere off in there. But it does fluctuate. So I had so my payment history is not as good because I had did a cosign. I co-signed on a loan, and
mm,
it wasn't the person that co-signed that I co-signed for was not paying the loan. And so that's how it hurt my credit. But since I had really good utilization because my utilization was zero, And
So
I
again,
have good.
very quickly, the
Mhm,
utilization part is again. I'm a student too. I'm trying to learn this so I can apply.
mhm.
The utilization part is basically how much you
Credit
own in
card.
balance versus what's your limit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say you have 10,000 and then you have 1,000. So that's gonna be what, 10% credit utilization?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
you
the
really,
lower it is, the higher the credit score goes up.
the lower it is, the higher your credit score is gonna go.
All right.
Um, and so for me, my utilization is good. My credit history is good because I have double digit years of credit history.
Mm.
And I don't have like a whole lot of inquiries, but I can apply for some credit cards now. So my inquiries kind of go up and down because I like to credit card churn. But my payment history, so that's why I say your payment history is the number one because it's 35%. But see, your utilization, if you can tackle your utilization, that's where you can get more bang for your buck, because with the payment history, it's going to take time for those to drop off. But your
Mm-hmm.
utilization, if you pay those credit cards down, then you're going to see a big dip. So for me, since I was just paying the credit cards off every month,
Mm.
and when I had applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, they said that they had to do a review. And I almost got denied because they said that I had low usage. Well, one, when you have 7 or 8 credit cards, it's hard to use
Use
all of
all of
them.
them.
Right, using all of them. And so I had just like reoccurring purchases on it. But see, what's happening is every month when the creditor was reporting to the credit bureau, it's always reporting as zero. So it really looks like I'm not using the credit card. So that's where the credit card utilization hack comes in. So you have 2 points. One, if you have high credit utilization, get it down and you'll be able to see an increase. But then two, if you're like me to where you're paying the credit card off every month, if you do like a 2 or 7%, so the first month I pick 2 credit cards, and I have maybe, let's say if I have a 7,000 credit limit, I think at a 2% that's like 260 or something like that. So the first month I let the credit card report at $260. So when they reported to the credit bureau, it showed that I had a balance. But the key is, so you have your due date and you have your statement date. Your statement date is when it's reporting to the credit bureau. So like I said in the beginning, I don't pay interest on my credit cards for the past 4 or 5 years. So even when I'm saying to leave 2 or 7% on your credit card, I'm not saying to pay interest on it. So basically what you're doing is going to report at the 2%. So my statement date is, say, the 7th of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like the 8th or 9th, I'm going to pay the credit card off after it reports to the credit bureau. And so that's where pulling your credit report comes in handy, because you can see what did it report to the credit bureau.
Mm. Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so that's how, and so it increased my credit score. So it increased, me doing that hack helped to increase my credit score.
Absolutely, I understand that. So I want to go back a little bit. That the what creates the overall, like the 100% of your credit score. You were
Mm-hmm.
mentioning that earlier. So the credit utilization, is that the part that was 60% of your credit score?
Well, it's 30%. So you have your payment history, 35%. Your
35.
credit utilization is 30%. Your
Okay.
length of credit, 15%. Your credit mix, 10%. And then your credit. So you got your payment history, your credit utilization, your length of credit, your new credit, and then your credit mix.
Length
So
of
your
credit.
length of credit is 10%. Your new credit is no, your length of credit is 15%.
Okay.
Your new credit is 10%, and then your credit mix is 10%. So
Okay,
that's
wait. I wanna break that down a little bit. So the length of credit, because I haven't heard that one before. So
mhm,
the length of credit. So what the shorter your terms, the higher the credit. Is that how it works?
the longer. So the thing is, with your credit score, they want to see. So this is why somebody that's 18, they don't have a credit score, because they don't have a student loan, they don't have a car note, they don't have any of those things. But let's say if you get a credit card, so like my first credit card, I had maybe 16 years. So I would say anything over maybe 10 years is good, a good length of credit, but the higher the
Oh,
better.
okay. Now I get it. I thought you meant like if you get a loan, the length, like for example, if I get a car and I have 5 years to pay it, that would be contributing as the length of credit. But you're saying is the history basically.
Yeah, the history. Now that is gonna report, but see the thing of it is because I'm paying off my auto loan, and I've been my journey on my channel. And so I was making a video coming up here late soon where, because I've been talking about paying the auto loan off early, and a few
Mhm.
people put in the chat, well, it's going to make my credit go down.
Mm.
But on the one hand, I don't really care if my credit goes down on the one hand. And see, this is where it gets kind of tricky with credit, because like I said, you have to know why you want to use your credit. So I would
Okay.
rather not have any debt and my credit score go down than have a lot of debt and it goes up. But then I was talking to somebody else and I was telling them, when I look at my credit profile, I don't really think it's going to impact my credit because I have a good length of credit. And so this kind of goes along with, people will say, well, don't close a credit card. But I say it all depends. So, like, I had a credit card, I have 3 credit cards that I had 16 or 17 years. 2 of those credit cards were Bank of America.
Mm.
Bank of America closed those credit cards in 2020 and 2021. And I was hot. I was mad because, one, I wanted the credit cards, but it didn't have but I wasn't using the credit cards. But then two, they were the longest credit cards that I had. And so I kind of had gotten nervous a little bit because I was just like, it could impact my credit score. But I still had one other credit card that had the longest length of credit, so it didn't hinder me.
And
But I'll close a credit card, and if it's 1 year, it's not gonna hurt. But if it's 16 years, then that could maybe hurt.
mm. Now that's because we always hear about I mean whenever we talk about credit, most people they always hear about you have to pay off your credits and like the credit utilization is the most talk
Mm-hmm.
about. But it's funny because
Yes.
I haven't heard a lot talking discussion about the rest you mentioned, and although they're not contributing as much, I find that they're
Right.
still important to know because that's where the small variation would come in. And if we're heading
Mm-hmm.
towards like
Mm-hmm.
800, 850, that could play a bigger number there. Of course, if you want big like just have good credits, you're going to have to work on the first two, the one that was 35%, uh,
Right.
and then the one that was 30%. And just to clarify, this 35% was the credit utilization, correct?
The payment history is 35%, and your credit utilization is 30%.
Okay, 30%. All right, I'm taking notes too. Realization. All right. So the length of credit, and I guess from what you said, what I understood from it is if you have a credit card, for example, even though you're paying it off every month, but the history and how long you've been having it, that history that you've built up is the part that you consider as the length of credit. Now, should you close it, does that entire history is gone of your report? Like is that
Mhm.
what you mean, or do they
Okay,
still look
so
at the year that you had it on?
that's a great question. So one, it all depends. And so that's why you want to pull your credit report. So, like I said, the credit card that I had that was 16 years, like I was salty about that because I felt like it could really impact my length of credit.
Mm.
But then, like last year, I closed the credit card because I had only had it a year. It had an annual fee on it, and I wasn't using it, and so I closed it. But since I knew that my length of credit was good,
Mm-hmm.
me closing the one credit card for 1 year, to me, I don't, it didn't bother me because
Mm-hmm.
I know that I still had other things on there. So you really have to take a look at it. Now, going back to me paying off the auto loan, when they were saying that that's going to impact my credit, and then I was just like, okay, so I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's a possibility. But the thing is, I've only had the auto loan for 1 year. So on the one hand, I don't know that it's going to impact me that much because I've only had the auto loan for 1 year. But
Mm.
then two, so we talked about your payment history, we talked about your credit utilization, and we talked about your length of credit. So next you have your credit mix. Your credit mix is 10% of your
10%.
credit. So that's going to be, do you have installment loans? Installment loans are your auto loans, your mortgage, your student loans. Then you
Basically,
have
things you
your
have to
credit
pay monthly that
card.
is automatically taken from your account, from your checking
Yeah,
account.
yeah. So, well, if like I wouldn't say it automatically unless you set up for it to auto draft out of your accounts.
Okay.
But it's those installments for those long payments. Like a house, you're gonna have it for installments. So your house, you're gonna have it for 30 years, 15 years, 10 years. Your
Mm-hmm.
student loans, you're gonna have them for 100 years. Your auto loan, you're gonna have for 60 months, but now they doing like 96 months on the auto loans. I'm like,
Auto
what's going
loan.
on? 96 months on auto loans, like that's crazy. So that's what an installment loans are, the monthly loans. But then your credit cards, that's revolving credit because you really want to pay it off every month because you can really get a lot of interest on those, either credit cards or charge cards, especially charge cards.
Hmm.
So
So yeah, again, that's something I haven't heard anyone discuss. Maybe it's because it's only 10%, so people mostly go with the higher part. But yeah, that's a good news.
right.
So the way it works is, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it true that means the more installments and mix you have, the higher it goes, or is it the other way around?
Right, because yeah, if you have a good mix. So let's say for myself, I have student loans, I have a mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have credit cards, and then I had an auto loan. So I have a good mix of things, but really all your credit score is telling your creditors how good are you with paying back your loan. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say if I came to you and I said, will you let me borrow $10,000 or will you let me borrow $50,000? You might say no because you don't really know me like that, right? So you don't know how much money I make. You don't know if I'm good with my money. You don't know the probability of me paying it back.
Mm-hmm.
But all your credit score is the five components, and with those five components, it's going to tell your creditors how good is that person with paying back their loans.
And that's where I'm very interested in that number because I didn't know it yet before. But the more, and it makes sense. It makes sense as a lender. If you've been doing a great job at paying your car, right? Maybe your car is important to you. Maybe you don't want it seize from you because you need it to work, right? But that doesn't mean you're making a great job at your cell phone, right? That doesn't mean you make a great job at your credit card, for example. So the more you have, it gives them a higher probability to tell them that, hey, this person is reliable because they've been paying, they have a long history and they have a long mix
Mhm.
of credit scores, so that's probably going to
Right,
increase that number.
right. But see, on the same hand, just because you have a good credit score It doesn't always mean you're good with your finances. All it means is that you're able to pay the loans back
Hmm.
because you don't want to. Because see, the thing is, you can have good credit hit. Like I said, your payment history, your credit utilization, your length of credit, your credit mix, and your new credit.
New
So if
credit.
you have a credit card, and even if you're paying the monthly payment every month, you don't have a late payment on there, so you're paying your bills on time. But then on the same hand, if your utilization is high, then you don't know how to manage your credit
Mm,
because you're over leveraging yourself with the credit. But if you
mm.
get it, let's say 25%, that's good. But I would say the lower the better.
Absolutely. So let's get to the, and I have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you. One of the questions I was going to ask you later today is, what would you do if you had, let's say, in a 400, 500 credit score, and then you would try to get your cashback credit cards as fast as possible? That was one of the questions I had for you. So we're going to tackle
Okay.
that later, and I have a surprise for you. I'm going to show you how to do that on the crypto world, right? So you're gonna get some games too on my side. But let's jump into to the simulation I had ready for you. We're gonna use me as a
Oh, okay.
student.
Let's see what you got.
We're gonna use me as a student. But before I jump in, shout out to everyone on the chat. I see you guys jumping and very active. Thank you very much. I wanna give you a couple shout out.
Yeah,
Borders,
because I can't
brothers.
see the chat.
Yeah, but good. It's better that way. We stay
Oh,
focused.
okay.
But the chat is being showing love. Very good, great comments. Borders, brothers. Credit is very important. Incredibly. Hello, everyone. Thank you. That's the first time I see on the channel, but thank you for coming here. Please hit the subscribe button. And
Subscribe. Yeah. Let's
I
get to
just checked, and I think we are one subscriber away from hitting 1K. So
Come on, you
if you're
guys. You can
watching
do
this,
it.
if you're
Come on.
watching this, you haven't subscribed yet, please hook a brother up. Hit the subscribe button. We're almost there. Our goal is 1K, and we're almost there, one subscriber away. So please hit the like button. Thank you, J Bones, for welcoming the new people here. Thank you very much. And very quickly, cash flow hunter, tax debt will kill your credits. Yes, we see how that can play a part when we study the numbers. Yes, again, thank you, J Bones. Let me see. Yes, a new comment here,
Ah,
Gene.
Gene. What's up,
Oh,
Gene? How are you doing?
these are your fans. Hey, are you coming here to support you? Well, thank you for coming and supporting Tasha here. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button and please subscribe so we can hit the goal. It seems that we hit it. Congratulations,
Ah,
family. We're at that 1,000 subs. Thank
yay.
you very much. All right, so it's official, guys. I'll make the celebration. I'll schedule it after the
Yes.
stream, and then we'll get ready on that. So I invite everyone here to tune in to this 1K celebration party. There will be some giveaways, and then yeah, I'm trying to find a creative ways to do a celebration that hasn't been done before on YouTube. So yes,
Right.
I'll announce something.
Look, Gene was just telling me because I got 4,000 subscribers, and Gene was like, what kind of celebration? I need to do something. So I'm definitely thinking about doing something on my channel because, definitely always appreciate
It
everybody for,
Yeah, of course.
joining.
You could wait for 5K. It's usually 1K, 5K, 10K, and then 100K.
But 4,000, like that snuck up on me. And
Yeah.
I was really excited about it. So I think I'm going to do something.
Oh, all right, awesome, awesome. But I'm talking about the big ones, a big
Yeah.
celebration. So maybe you can just
Woo,
have a cake and
5,000.
blow it on stream. But hey, shout out to you for that 1K, 4K subscribers, and hopefully we'll get there one day. Wow, wow! I see more people coming in. More people coming in. Kindy Ann, shout out to you listening at work. Thank you very much. I've seen you in these YouTube streets before, but thank you for coming here and showing support as well. Really appreciate that. Cakes, 851, working and listening to you. Thank you very much. Many people are working today and still listening, getting games. DJ Flip, thank you very much. Yes,
Yes,
helping me get there.
congratulations.
And we got it. We got it. All right, guys. All right. So first. first thing I want to do is, if you haven't subscribed to um, Tasha before Major Change Group channel, I'm going to put the link right here. And please, I'm sure a lot of people are already subscribed from her that are here. But for the people that are not subscribed yet, please show her some love and go subscribe. I'll pin that comment as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you. That's the it's free games, right? Free games. Like me, I've been listening to many people, but and I know that the credit score has been broken down in many level, but it's really after having this conversation with you that I realize, okay, I can tackle the first two, which is obvious, but how do I play with the small variation? And me, I'm kind of like this
Mhm.
engineer, right? I like to tune in. I like to get any little things I can get. I like to go and tune
Mhm.
in those numbers as best as I can. So I'm very happy you brought this up, and we're going to talk more about that. So yeah, guys, if you want more games on credit cards and support it as well, here's the channel link on the description below, and let's get from there. And very quickly, I'm going to share my screen. So this is our channel right
Oh
here.
Lord,
This is the
my
channel.
channel.
This is the channel right here. 4K subscribers. Let's help her get to 5K, and we'll go from there. Now, here's the surprise I have for you. I'm going to
Oh
reveal to
my
you guys my
Lord.
credit score. I'm going to reveal to you
Okay,
guys.
let's get to it.
According to Credit Karma, they gave me a bad karma. So my
Woo!
credit score is 653.
653.
Um,
Okay.
I'm a bit ashamed of it, to be honest with you, because I'm ashamed of it because for a very long time I was above 750. For very long time, since I was 19 years old all the way to like 29. Right, I had a good history of 750 credit score. Never had any issues, even though I had many cars. Never had an issue. And then
Mm-hmm.
the year I started my business and I wasn't working also, so that created huge drop and a 400. And since then it's been a slow. I,
Mm.
I haven't really done any hacks to bring it up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually surprised that it's going up, to be honest with you. But yeah,
Okay.
now it's 650. They say it's good, but me, if it's not in a 750, it's
Yeah,
bad.
650 is I would say that's not horrible,
And according to
but I
Credit
would say
Karma, this is the
anything
TransUnion.
over, yeah, that's your TransUnion score. I would say anything over, let's say about a 720 to a 750, that's where you want to be, because that's where you really
Yeah.
could get any like really good credit, let's say interest rates. But
Mm-hmm.
I would also say if you can join a credit union, that can help you out as well.
All right, all right, all right. We're taking games. Hey, I agree with you, J Bones. JC, you gotta get that credit score
Yeah,
up.
gotta
Hey,
get
that's
that
why
up.
we're doing this stream. We're doing this stream to get games, to see if we can apply any of our advice. And the only thing we ask in
Mhm.
return, you hit the like and a subscribe and subscribe to our channel. So we're getting free games, and we'll want to support her as well. But hey, I really value your input so far. And now, okay,
Mhm.
so we have this number here, 650. Is it possible? Is it possible to raise this 650 credit score, 653, to 850? Is that possible in 1 year?
Okay,
Yes
so
or no?
okay, so I don't know. Maybe if you can take that off the screen. So I'm gonna ask you some questions.
All right.
Okay. All right. So first, you have a 653 credit score. So on your payment history, do you have any late payments on your credit report?
I mean, that's the other thing. I haven't done my credit report other than Credit Karma, so that's
So
definitely something. But I think from memory and the year that my credit score dropped, yes, I had. I think I probably
okay,
had 3 months probably of bad.
three.
Just within
Okay.
3 months, life was a mess around that time. So 2 years ago, it was probably, and since
Okay.
then, I haven't really had any issues with that.
Okay. Okay, because see, that's why I'm saying that you really want to make sure you always have a good payment history, because as
Mhm.
soon as you do one or two, I would say maybe 2 is not that bad. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't do it a lot, it's possible that you could write a letter to the creditors and ask them to drop it off. But if you have 1 or 2 on there, that's not going to be bad. But see, with the
Oh, okay.
payment
Wait.
history,
We're saying game here. We're
mhm.
saying game here. So wait a second. So first thing I need to do is do a credit report, right? Now, if I do see a bad payment, I can ask the creditors to
Well,
put it up.
and it depends, because if it's been 3 years, then maybe not, but let's say if it was like last month and this
Oh,
was the first time that you did it, then possibly you can write them a letter and ask them to remove it, like a good faith letter. So,
oh yeah. So
go
that's good. That's good to
online.
know. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
hmm
That's good to know. Yeah,
But if you're, yeah.
I could have done that. I could have done that as soon as it happened because I had lost my job. Bunch of things happened at the same. I had to move. Bunch of things happened at the
hmm
same time. So yeah, I wish I knew that. I would have probably done it. So what you're saying is you can send a letter to the creditors and then they can remove that, but it has to happen within the first what 1 2 months.
Yeah, I would say not anything. Probably like a month or two. Just like if you forget to pay a bill,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna ask them within that month, because they're gonna tack on those fees, and then usually you'll call them up and you'll say, "Can you not, I'm going to send in the payment, but can you take that fee off?" And then they're going to say, "Well, let me look at your payment history and let me see if you had any late payments within the last year." And if
Mm.
you haven't had any late payments within the last year, usually they will take those off. But
Mm.
another
Okay.
thing to think is, see, the thing is, when your loans report monthly. Now, I'm just gonna say this, but the thing is, you have to understand your credit report. Understand your credit report. Okay. So I'm just leaving that. So if you try this, you trying it at your own risk. So
Fine. I'm ready.
okay, so you have 2 parts to this. So first, if you make a late payment, they're gonna add late fees on there. So that's why you don't want to have the late fees on there. And if you haven't done it, then they'll remove it. But then also, if you're in good standings before the end of the month, before they report to the credit bureau, you won't have a late payment on your credit report.
All
You
right.
you
So
got it?
so
You got
give
what
me
I'm saying?
let's walk a little bit back on this. So let's say next
Mhm.
month or let's say this month I had a late payment, right? And then the process, let's say I'm supposed to pay my car, and then so is the bank, right? So I have a loan with the bank. So is it the bank that's
Mhm.
going to send a report to the credit bureau? Is that how it works? And then I have to
Yeah,
talk to the
yeah.
bank to let them, hey, be nice, I'm just a guy. Life is hard. And then although they can see my bank account, and then they'll
I would send it to the credit bureau. I would send it to the credit bureau,
okay.
because at
So
this point it's with the credit bureau.
all right, so letter to the credit bureau. And
hmm
how do you find the credit bureau? Like if I want to
Okay, so on your credit report, it'll have the act. So you're gonna pull each of your credit reports,
like
but it'll
TransUnion, for
have,
example.
yeah, it'll have because, like, let's say you're looking at your credit report and you see discrepancies.
Mm-hmm.
You can it'll have at the bottom where to send stuff, like if you have discrepancies and things like that. But you can all,
Oh,
like, the thing is, you can Google everything.
yeah.
So like Google good faith letter, and then you want to check your credit report to see who's reporting. Are all three reporting late payments, or are two reporting late payments?
Mm.
And do it that way.
I'm actually going to attempt something just for practice. Hey, what do I have to do,
Yeah,
right?
just
I'm
just
actually
try. I
going to
mean, they
ask.
can only say no.
So
Yeah.
first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my credit annual report. Then if I can see it or any information about late payment history, I'll try to approach them just for practice. Say, hey, that happened 5 years ago. Can you can you remove it now? All they say is no, but if they do it, but at least it will be practice, right? Practice so that if it ever it happens again, then I'm good. Now, my other question is, how far do they look back, right? When they're looking at those history, I guess it depends on
Seven
what you're trying
years.
to, the money you're asking for.
7 years. And so that's what I was gonna say
7 years.
too. Because even if you have, let's say, like, I'm gonna pay my car off,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna move from active to, let's say, inactive, but it's gonna still report on my credit report. So it's just not gonna be active debt, and then it's gonna be in good standings. So it's still gonna basically be reporting good credit, because like
Mm,
when I look at my credit report, I can see things on there that have been closed and they're still there, and so it'll typically report for at least, it could be even seven, oh, I would say between 7 and 10 years, but I think it's about 7.
Okay, very quickly, I want to go to some comments. Jeans, 1984, G. Let
Let
them
them know
know
which
which apps is best to use for credit score. Yeah, great question. Which
mhm.
app is best to use for that?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say, because see, I know about Credit Karma, but I haven't used it. So I would
Mm,
say, if you can find a lot of the information that you need from Credit Karma and you're not paying, because the thing is, you don't want to be charged to get those things.
mm,
So that's why I use the annualcreditreport.com, but then I also use Experian. So I use Experian, and then even with Experian, I'm able to unlock my credit scores, and then
mhm,
it'll still give me my whole credit report. So that way I don't have to go on to the annual credit report, because when you do go onto the annual credit report, like first you have to do Experience. So you have
mhm,
to pull Experience up, because you got to put your social security number in there, and then it's going to ask you some questions that maybe, what address, but it's going to ask you in a few questions, like what was the last credit card, but it'll have like ABC. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to pull it on the annual credit report, because you have to do one at a time at a time. But then
mm,
like Experian, you can, but see, on Experian, it's gonna give you just your experience score for free. But then they want you to sometime pay like 14.99 or 25. But I say don't pay it. But if you can get a free trial to where you can unlock everything, then do it. But
okay,
then also, sometimes your credit cards, you can get your credit score. So, because you can get your credit report for free, but see, your credit score, you have to pay. You have to pay for your credit score.
I
So,
see. All right.
so
Well,
with
hey,
my
I'm
credit,
definitely going to try that
mm,
credit annual credit report first and see where I
yeah,
go from there. But yeah, thank you very much for giving us different
okay,
perspective. Let me
yeah,
jump very quickly. It's hard to get
yes,
them payment history off. Oh man, really? Eh? Tasha.
mm,
So right, I had 3 years ago, and they won't think they won't take them off. Move me from 100% to 98%. All right, all right. Hey, I'll try anyway, just for practice either way. But thanks for letting me know in advance. Hey,
right.
nice to see you here, Sophia Sharif. Shout out
Hey,
to you. Shout out to you. Nice to see you here. Thank you for hey, big rats, 1K subscribers. Hey, we did it, guys. We did it together. It was a team effort, and thank you very much. Thank you very much.
yes,
Shout out to you, J Bones, Marlene TV. Uh, hey, Lindsay. Shout out to you. 1K subscribers. Thank you very much. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, you like Experience better? All right, all right. Hey,
yeah,
some people prefer. I prefer Experience more than Credit Karma. All right, cool.
mhm,
I didn't know any of that today before today, so I'll definitely give
yeah,
him a try. Credit Karma for me was I needed something very quick, and then I Googled. It was the first thing that showed up, so I signed up there. But so far, I haven't
yeah.
had any complaint. But it's not any details, right? It doesn't give you much details.
Yeah,
It's,
because see, that's why I wanted to ask you. Because see, we have the 5 components, and
mm,
so that's why I wanted to ask you. Okay, when you having a 653 credit score, we got to figure out why your credit score is that
mm,
amount. So if you're making your payments, but you've already said that you had a few late payments, so that's gonna take you down.
yep.
So then next we have our credit utilization. So just for your credit card, do you have any credit
I
cards?
have one credit card.
So you have one credit card. Do you have high utilization or low utilization? Is it over 30% or under 30%?
Yeah, right now it is over 30%.
Okay, so it's over 30%. So I'm gonna say if you could get it, like if you could get it to zero, you would see, you would probably see you go up to over 700.
Yeah,
If you
really?
could,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
like the
I'll
lower
definitely
you
do that. There is also one thing that is that I know I have to do. Let me see if I can show you. It's a little bit personal, but I'll show you. If I can, I'll
oh
show
that
you anyway. I don't mind. I don't mind. It's just that, but yeah, I had that debt consolidation I did,
hmm
which was like 5 years term, being basically at 0%. And then I had like I think I had like 70,000 worth of debt when I had to do the debt consolidation, and then basically with
hmm
that I agreed to pay 10,000 at 0% for 5 years. So, but
Oh, okay.
they told me as I was doing that, my credit score was going to stay low, and when I get close to finish paying it, it was going to go like a step. And I think that's what I'm seeing this year. But I could finish paying it
Mhm.
this year, one shot. But I'm kind of using that money to invest in crypto and turn it more money. And when I
And
see
that's
more money,
okay. And that's okay. And that's
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point that I'm saying. It's just like start where you can, but
yeah.
see the thing is you have a plan. So when you having a plan, I think that you'll be okay.
Yes,
And
absolutely. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking that money, I'm turning it into more money, and then when it's more money, I get this greedy. I'm like, I don't want to pay the debt yet.
right,
I want to turn it into more money. So that's where I'm at today. But I put it as a
right.
financial goal next year, 2022, to finish paying all my debt. Because yeah, my net worth got to six figures, but if I can reduce my debt, I can. My net worth will also. Uh,
Right. And you see, and this is the thing. So you see what I said, just because like you have a good net worth, but then your credit is just okay. You see
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's
So
only okay, like right now, like in the last 2 months.
but on the same hand, but you still have leverage and you still have leverage to put in your business. So that's the thing. It's just like either cash is still king or your credit. So if you see what I'm saying? So it's just
Mm,
like, but if you use both of them, then that's when you can probably really do some stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, Let me see. Yeah, yeah, there is the something I have to pay. But anyway, I'll go through the comment very quickly and we'll move on. Let me see. Man, lots of comment. Thank you guys for being active in the chat. Let me see. TransUnion score on credit
TransUnion.
card. Absolutely.
Yep.
Let me
hmm
see. Serge
Let's see.
Anderson Bakusam. First time I see you here, please make sure you hit those like and subscribe button. But hope to see you more often. And thank you for this comment. Can one apply for a credit card even though he was approved for another credit cards 2 months ago? FYI, the person has a good credit score, low utilization rate on all credit cards. Is that you? It's fine.
Okay, so
No,
this is a great question. It's a great question. It depends because so when I was applying for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, I could not have applied for 5 credit cards within 24 months. So it's good to go on, go on, like, now everybody's talking about everything. So you could, whatever credit card it is that you want to apply for, you could go on YouTube and type that credit card in, and there's going to be a ton of information. Or you could go online and type it in just to see what do they say that you need, because typically it is, most of the time you can see what credit score they usually want you to have. But then also, from what he's saying, because this is gonna go into the new credit,
mhm.
because this is gonna be your inquiries. So if you have a lot of
Mm.
inquiries on your credit report, then sometimes you can get denied for credit, because if
Wow, huh?
creditors are seeing you apply for a whole
Too
lot of
desperate.
credit cards, then yeah, you desperate. Like, what do you? It's like you are, but you're not, because it's like either
Yeah.
you're playing the game by, you want to get those points like me, or you are either desperate for credit because, either you have high credit utilization, you want to open up another credit card so that you could get more utilization. So I think it really depends.
So I guess it depends on the
And
card, but I guess some cards they can deny you if you have applying for a new card within a certain time frame. Basically, well, that's what I
yeah,
get.
it depends. And so like what you can also maybe consider is if because see what I want to jump into is because I want to apply for 2 credit cards. So I'm going to consider applying for those credit cards on the same day because basically
Right.
they're going to report on the same day. So it's just
Yes.
like that's what I'm saying. It's just like you can't just be out here applying for credit cards. And see,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I was in before 2019, but I wasn't applying for credit. I would apply every now and then for a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But 2019 till now, it's like I have a strategy. Like, what's my
Mm.
strategy? And so he seems like he might be like me to where he's credit card churning because he wants to get the points. Like when I applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, it has 100,000 bonus points, which is going to be equivalent to $1,200.
Oh.
So $250. But see, with that credit card, I could not apply for five credit cards within a 24-month period.
And
So all that means is your inquiries. Are you applying for a lot of credit? And
mm.
so that's what I'm saying. When you're doing this, what is your strategy for it? So
What do you
if
think of
you're
this
applying
limit very quickly? I recommend 3 cards
for
a year. Applying for 3 cards a year. What do you think of that?
um, I mean, I would say that's why I think it depends. And I feel like you have to have a strategy because I would say the thing is 3 is good because 3 inquiries on your credit report is gonna be in the green, but
Mm.
anything over 4 or 5, that's where it's gonna be red. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm saying that you have to kind of know why you are applying. So if so I would agree. I definitely would agree because you don't want to have a lot of inquiries on your credit report.
Let me put it this way. Okay, I'll use me as an example because I get it. If we talk on a general, it's hard to kind of like stable it. I'll use me as an example. So let's say I don't like to buy real estate in Canada, but only because it's very expensive these days. And but
Mm-hmm.
let's say right, I want to keep my option open. Right, hey, at some point I might get to the high value man status. I want to exercise my options. Shout out to Kevin Samuel. But let's say, you know what? I don't necessarily want to do it, but if something happens, let's say I my another kid's coming in and my wife is convincing me that somehow we need a house with a court, I might want to look into it, right? So right now my credit score is low. But my goal in next year is to raise it, but I'm raising it in a case where if that moment comes where I need to actually buy a home, that I can get it at the lowest rate possible. So at that
Right.
point, we have a
Mm-hmm.
goal. We have some sort of a timeline. It could be in the next 2 years, right? So from that perspective, now we have a goal. We know where we're going, and how much inquiry would you do in from that perspective?
Like Gene said, 3 or under. Three
All
or
right.
under.
Perfect, perfect. That's perfectly
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
And also what I
Yeah.
was going to ask if you could clarify is the reason why you're applying for many cards is to raise yeah, that card utilization, which is basically that was it 25%, that you're trying to raise it, and the higher limit you have with the lowest balance you have, that basically increases the score as well. Is that the game plan?
Well, I would say no, but you bring up a good point because if you are approved for a credit card, let's say for 10,000, that's going to help your utilization. But on the same hand, if you have high utilization on a lot of your credit cards, the probability of you getting approved for a high limit is going to be slim. But see, what I'm saying is the reason why I'm applying for credit cards because I want to get the front end bonuses.
Mm.
So let's say that one credit card, it had 100,000 bonus points. And so that's 1,000. So like this year, I'm probably gonna earn over 2,000, probably 2,500 from my credit cards. I'm gonna earn that from my credit cards. But see, I would say my expenses are a little bit lower. So like if you have a business or you're spending a little bit more money, then you might get more. So that's where applying for the credit cards, because you can get either cash back, you can get points. So it really depends on why you're applying for the credit cards, because you can get airline points, you can get hotel points, you can get cash back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are different reasons for applying
Why?
for credit cards. So
Perfect.
yeah, so that's where it goes back to one, you understanding your habits, and then two, knowing why you're applying for these credit cards.
Now, again, I see a lot of chats, and I want to get into them, and also I want to give that game that I was telling you about. But but first, you raise a great
Mm-hmm.
point, and that trigger another question in my mind. Which one do you think is better? Is it better to increase the limit on your current credit card, or is it better to apply for new credit cards and get the highest limit you can get from the first bat, or is it a mix of the two? What would you say?
Um, I think it still goes back to what is your strategy, you know, because it's for me, you know, like for me, like I don't have any, like all of my credit cards that are at a zero balance.
Hmm.
And I have pretty good credit limits, but see what I'm wanting to do with my, and then two, I only use my credit. I use my credit cards like my debit cards on
Hmm.
natural spending.
Hmm.
So I'm not just out here buying everything. You see what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
out here using credit cards recklessly and, you know, and just buying a whole bunch of stuff that I don't need and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. So I'm using my credit cards like my debit cards with for things that I need. I'm using on my gas, my groceries, even if I'm traveling and stuff like that. That's what I'm using my credit cards for.
And that's great because if you lose it, then hey, it's it's other people's money, right? It's not like a direct debit card.
Well, I think it adds additional protection, especially around this time of year, because I don't think I would use my credit card. I don't think I would use my debit card online, because you want
Yeah.
to make sure you're using it on secure sites.
Hmm.
And then also with you in the, you know, people are Black Friday shopping. Now people are going Christmas shopping. I can tell you it's been a time where my debit card has been in my wallet in some kind of way. I don't know if people have those things where they can get your credit, your debit card number.
Mm.
And bank, you know, when I had Bank of America, they let me know that somebody was using my debit card in
Wow.
Florida or somewhere. But see, I was able to get the money back. But see, let's say depending on what bank you were with, what if that tied your money up? So that's why it's good to use a credit card, because it's not going to tie your main money up, and then you can still
Exactly.
pay your regular bills, all that kind of stuff. So
And they'll be
there
more.
are
They'll definitely care more about finding who's doing that and how is it done. If it's their money versus if it's your
right,
money, they'll
right.
be like, well, we'll investigate. Well, we don't have a rush, so on. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a great point right here. All right, so
Right.
basically, it comes down for your strategy. All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think ideally I would want three cards, but maximize
Right.
limit. I would
Yeah.
maximize the
Yeah.
limit in one for business,
Right.
one for personal, and another one
Mm-hmm.
maybe for crypto.
Yeah, because
But
the thing is, it is you know, it some people, because on some of the other channels it's just like, well, why would you need a whole lot of credit cards? On the one hand, I think, because I'm gonna actually do a video on this coming up, because sometimes I feel like if you just use one credit card, you can maximize whatever, like if you're going to get cash back or rewards because you're just using that one card. But like if
mhm,
you have 7 cards, you're making small purchases on all those cards. So that to me is going to be a little bit harder to rack up on those all those points if you just use the one. But
mhm,
usually on the front end, that's where you're getting the bulk of the special offer on the front end,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Well, by the way, I know we're running out of time. We're
Yeah,
almost
we can
done.
keep going, because it's going pretty good.
Perfect,
If
perfect.
you
I
want,
just wanted to
that's
make sure I
fine.
respect your time, but we're going to switch soon on the topic I had ready for you. I'm going to ask you later on if you had like a 400 or 500 credit score, which card would you go for if you wanted to, if your strategy was to get the highest cash back you can get. So think
Okay.
about that while I go through the chat.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, perfect. All right, wait, wait. Let me go through the chat very
right.
quick. Shout out to you guys. You guys are being very active. Thank you very much for that,
Yes, I
Tasha.
do like the simulator.
I have a Capital One, so you can play around with the credit score by using the sim. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yes,
So is
yes,
that
that's really
something that is
good.
available to any Capital One user?
Well, it really depends on the credit card that you have. So
Mm,
he has the Capital One, and I have the Chase, and I want to say even I have Navy Federal, and even Experian has a simulator. So when you
oh,
go on a simulator, so your credit score is a 685. So
mhm.
then you can play around with it, and you can say pay bills on time, and then it'll say if you pay all of your credit cards down, and it'll even tell you if you max
Awesome.
out all of your credit cards, what it'll do. So it,
Yeah,
it is really
I'll
good.
look that up because I have a Capital One card too. Actually, that's the only card I have right now. I'll
Hmm.
look that up because I'm very
Yeah,
interested in that
I
because
like
I'm
those.
all
Yeah.
about simulations and you practice things, you practice your strategies before you apply it. So thank you for this
Mhm.
comment. I'm learning from you guys as well.
OG. OG.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't finish reading all of it actually.
Mhm.
Similar to get the ball point, figure out what your score might come out to.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Let's do that again. J Bones, shout out to you. Thank you for your support. Cash flow hunter, but too much demand on credits can affect your credit.
Yes, and see that's the thing because
Mm,
last year, I don't know if they're doing it so much this year, but see last year they were slashing credit cards because they didn't know what the economy was going to be like.
mm,
And so that's where I don't know if it was him or another guy where they were saying cuz see like for me with my Bank of America, like I had those two credit cards for over 16 years. It
wow.
didn't have a balance on it. Why would they cut those cards?
You had
You
a
see
car
what I'm
for
saying? Like
16
that
years?
makes no sense.
You,
That makes no sense.
you had a card for 16 years?
16.
Wow, that's. I mean, did you
I have
have it?
two,
Did you had a
two credit
card with your
cards.
parents when you were like 10 or something? Or
No.
all right, man.
Yeah.
Good. That's. I'm surprised to hear that. All right, let's get keep going. He was saying thanks actually, Serge. Thank you
But
for the
can I
answer.
tell you this really quick?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so kind of telling you, kind of going back to what you were saying. Okay, now let's say if I had a kid and they were 18, they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to tell you, even as well, let's say if your wife has a credit card to where she has good payment history, good utilization,
Yep.
she has a lot of good history
Mm-hmm.
on that. She
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
add you as an authorized user on that credit card, and that can help to increase your credit score. Now, I believe if you get your credit utilization down, you'll get more bang for your buck tackling your credit utilization.
Mm-hmm.
But if she can add you as an authorized user on the credit card,
All
it's
right.
gonna take a few months, but that's another way that you could help somebody increase their credit score.
So you're telling me if I give my wife some flowers and chocolate prior to Valentine's Day, because I only give her that once a year. But if I do it twice a
Oh
year,
no,
so if I give her twice a year, I can actually ask her to add it, and that could improve my own score. Is that correct?
that can improve your score. So that
Yeah.
when you were saying that so let's say if I had a child that was 14, they're in high
Mm-hmm.
school, and we know in 4 years they're going to be graduating.
Mm-hmm.
You could add them as an authorized user on your credit card. Now, you don't have to give them the credit card. You don't have to tell them
Just an
that.
authorized user. Which
just as
is technically
authorized
that
use.
doesn't mean I'm going to use it. It just means
That
that
doesn't,
hey,
right, right. And that can help to build their credit as well. To
mm,
where when they get 18 and then let's say they're gonna want to get a car or something like that, then their credit score should be pretty good
met
at that time
conditions.
to where they'll have a good credit score.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, thank you for this comment, Sophia. Super info. I did that exact thing. I applied for two credit cards minutes apart. All right, people have games already. Hey, I'm learning, guys.
Yeah,
It
that's
seems that these
fine.
games,
Yeah, that's
people
it.
have games. Got both, but I don't use them unless I have the dollars to pay them off. Awesome, perfect.
Exactly, Sophie. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just like you want to use your credit cards as leverage. You don't want to
Mm,
use your credit cards to sustain your lifestyle. So that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. Like I do my budget every month and I
Hmm.
know, and so then I'm just swiping my credit card like my debit card, but then I'm paying it off every month. But then also I'm using the 2 or 7% credit utilization hack to see so that it can report a certain amount to the credit bureau so they can see that I'm getting that utilization on the credit card, but then I'm paying it off before I pay interest on it because I don't want to pay interest on it.
Mm. I understood. All right, let me see. Let me see. I'll go through that very quick. Let
Mhm.
them know the bonus points mean money in the bonus points means money in the end. Um, y- what are your thoughts on that? Because that's, from what I hear, that's your strategies, right? You go for the bonus that you get at the as you applied for a card,
Mhm.
and I guess you're leveraging that to basically build
Yes,
your wealth,
yes.
right?
Because see, what he's saying is that on the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, I applied for the credit card. I had to spend $4,000 within 90 days to get 100,000 bonus points. But y'all, it was just one time because I do it to the T, and
Mm,
this credit card had an annual fee on it, and I thought that I had got the whole the I think it was like 2,000, but this one is 4,000,
mm,
and I didn't. It was like $95 short, and so I didn't get the bonus. And so, say for this one, because I want to get my $1,250, so I'm making sure that it's $4,000 all the way through. And so,
okay, so wow, you spent the
yeah,
4,000, you get $1,050.
yeah. But see, but this is what I'm saying because that sounds a little strange, but in three
Sounds too
months, so
good to
that's
be
why
true.
you're doing. Well, because on the one hand, you can say, okay, $4,000 within 3 months. So I have to spend that money to get that money back. But see, the thing is, if you are doing your natural spending, and
1 month.
so let's say you're spending $2,000 every month.
Mhm,
So you should have no problem. So like I pay a few of my bills on my credit cards. I pay my groceries. I pay my gas. Now for this
mhm.
4,000, I was just like, do somebody need me to? Can I put something on my credit card? But you gotta have the money. So when I swipe the card, you give me the money back.
Of course. Awesome, awesome. All right. Let me see. Oh man, more comments are coming in. The more you use and pay them off balance, the quicker and the more limit increase. Yes, I noticed that with mine too. I love the cashback bonus. I think my strategy is going to be cashback. This year, I fall
Yeah,
in love with cashback, and I'm going to show you something later
yeah,
with my
yeah. I
card.
like cash. I like cashback too. But I think it depends because some credit cards, I want to say on the Capital One Quicksilver card, you can do. I don't know that you can do cashback, but you can do like statement credits. But let's say on my Navy Federal credit cards and even on my Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, I can get cash back. So I can get cash back. I can do gift cards. I could travel. So there's so many things. But I appreciate that, Sophie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
she has a lot of knowledge herself.
yeah, and then Jean was saying, "Don't pay them off right away." I guess it goes back to that same conversation we were having earlier. I guess it all
Yeah,
comes down to your strategy,
the
but
strategy. Yeah, but see the thing is that's where you want to pull your credit report so that you can see when is it reporting to the credit bureau,
hmm
and then you want to so you can see your statement date on your credit card statement. And then so let's say my statement date is the 7th, maybe like the 9th, somewhere off in there, I'll pay it off. So I'll only let it report either 2 or 7%. I'm gonna let it report 2 or 7%. And then right after the statement date, I'm gonna pay it off so that I don't pay any interest on the credit card. Because see, the thing is,
mm,
if you are if you're getting these cash back and these points, if you're paying interest on the credit card, then you're eating the balance. So
hmm
that's why I say don't pay interest on the credit card.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's the cash that you have in your hands that means more. So I agree with that point. I think that's probably the strategies I'll do. But hey, I find this comment very interesting. That's why I want that simulator because I want to practice different things, different combinations, and see what works best for my scenario. But I did an increase, and I hold a certain balance. It said that it should raise my score by 39 points, but if I pay them down to low, my score will stay the same, or what is it now? All right. So I guess he's saying
Well, um,
question to Eugene. Question to Eugene. Is that from the simulator that you find it out, or how did you find that information? I'm very curious about it.
yeah, I think that would be good. But see, I think what I would do, I would use I would use the 2 or the 7%. I would let it report to the credit bureau whatever he's saying from the simulator. If they say you got to have 1,000, then I would use the credit card, because see I was paying my credit card like 4 times a month. But
hmm
then once I started doing the credit card utilization hack, then I only, because see I want to get all my charges up so that I could, because when I did the 7%, I think that was like maybe like 500 on one, but then one credit card I had, it was like 1,400. So I didn't even make 7% on that one. I just let it go pretty high, and then I let it report, and then I'll pay it off. So I think I would try that, because
hmm
I don't want to pay interest on the credit card, or I hope that that credit card has a 0% interest rate. So
Because
those are some of
in your case, some of these cards could be high interest, right? If they're giving you a lot rewards, they're probably a lot interest as well, right? Like in the 20%. Like, is that true or not?
Mhm. And
Really?
see, that's the thing. Like for me, I don't care what the interest rate is on the credit card. Let's
Because you end up
say
not
with
paying it
the Chase,
anyway.
because I'm paying it off anyway. So with the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, I think it was 15.99 to 29% or
Wow.
22%. But since I pay the credit card off every month, or I use the utilization hack,
hmm
it doesn't matter, because I'm not paying any interest on the credit card anyway.
Exactly. And I see more comments here very quickly. Great advice. I did that with my kids. Their score are better than mine. Wow. All right. Lashes did the same. Shout out to you, Lashes. Thank you for your
Yes,
support here.
for
I
sure,
added
Churning.
all
Yes,
my children
I've been
as
seeing her
authorized.
around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I add all my children and authorized users. Yeah, I think she has teens as a student, as children too. They're not children, they're teens. But I get it. There are children's to
And
you.
I want to say, I think she has a financial type channel too, if I'm not making a mistake. I
Lashes
think I've
Journey.
seen.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Lashes Journey. That's her the channel
Yeah,
name. She talks about
yeah.
real estate and
Oh, okay.
how she
Yeah,
got
so
to
she know the
retire.
game.
Basically,
She
she retired.
she know.
She's an early retired lady. So and I want to invite her one day to a channel on to inspire people. It's not necessarily the high income skill that you need. It's more knowing the game and buy assets that can pay you. Pay
Right,
your liabilities. If you can do that,
right.
then you win the game. And it doesn't matter which job you have. It doesn't matter if you have an engineer job, a software engineer job making 100K, or you could have like a job at McDonald's if you want. You can, as long as you know what to do with money that you
With
have.
what you have, yeah. Because
Yeah,
even like myself, I don't make $100,000.
you
So
look like someone who does.
I mean, I wish, but I
Not
think
yet,
for
not yet.
me, I think wealth is different. Like it's different for everybody. So like for me, what makes me happy is one, knowing that all of my bills are paid, that I
Mm-hmm.
have some money left over, and that I can do things with my money when I want. So
Mm.
let's say the other day, so I'm a Maxwell fan. I love Maxwell. And so, and I've already been to like 3 or 4 of his concerts already.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming to Nashville again. Maxwell, Joe, and Anthony Hamilton. And do you know? So I was just like, I'm gonna get me a ticket. And this time I'm getting backstage pass. I got backstage pass. So the tickets were like 400 and some odd dollars. So that's what I like. I like to be able to have money to where I could just do what I want. So the tickets went on sale and I had got an email and then I just went on there and I saw it and it said backstage. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So
Mm.
that's what I like. And that's why I think, getting your finances in order to where you can do things with your money how you want on your terms. On your terms.
Absolutely. And shout out to you, Aaron B, for being here. Thank you for your support. Yes, we did it. 1K. Peter M as well. We did it. 1K. Thank you for your support as well. He was working and he was still
Thank you,
watching the
Peter.
show. Yes, a great guy, man. Very insightful guy. So happy to see you here. Going to the J Bones, J Bones. Happy, man. Well, hey, 1K, we did it. Hey, thanks to you as well. Thanks to you as well, J Bones. That's a great question, Wally. Um, do
Let's
you
see.
care of the
Ooh,
annual fees on a
that is
credit
a
card?
great question.
Great
Okay.
question.
All right. And it's so funny because somebody in the chat said they love them some American Express. And I had a guy on my channel and I'm
J
looking at
Bones.
getting an American Express credit card, but um I like a no, I don't like an annual fee. And if I have a card that has an annual fee, and if I'm not using it, I'll close it because I don't want an annual fee.
Mm,
But I do feel like I would want to know where which American Express credit card, because I'm hearing that there's a lot of like it's worth it. And see, the thing is, what you really have to think is I think even with those American Expresses, you get certain things that really make it worth it.
mm-hmm.
But I think to me, that's where it still goes back to making sure that your finances in order, because when the annual fee comes around, do you have the 400 and some odd dollars to pay the annual fee?
400.
And some of them are like on the American Express, like some of those are like 650, 550. And I'm just like, like the highest one that I have is $95. So I'm okay with maybe like under 100, but I
Yeah, that
like
sounds
obviously
reasonable.
under 100 is okay. But what I talked about the Capital One
Mm,
Quicksilver card because it didn't have an annual fee, and I thought that would be a good credit card for people that are just trying to get into credit cards because
mm-hmm.
it's a zero annual fee. I think if you spent $500 within 3 months, you got $250 back. So so I like a credit card that has a low annual fee. Let's just say that
No
low to
worries.
no annual fee.
Very quick shout out. Shout out to Perry Unlikely. Hey,
Very
shout out to you. He
unlikely.
just reached
How you
5K not that
doing?
long ago, and he's on his way to 10K. So you have
Yeah,
Tasha here,
Barry
Perry
has
Unlikely,
some
right
good.
behind you.
He has great thumbnails, and you have great thumbnails on your channel too.
Me? Yeah, thank you. Hey,
Yes.
I can. If you need help with that, I can. I found someone. Let's just leave it at
Okay.
that. But we can talk about it after the stream. I'll refer you the person who's
Yeah,
helping you
my
with that.
thumbnails are kind of shaky sometimes. It's like
Don't
sometimes I
worry.
do get my thumbnails done on Fiverr, but sometimes I'll try to do it myself. So they kind of go up and down sometimes.
Yeah, I suffer a lot with that for years, and now this year I decided to use YouTube as a business, approach it as a
Hmm.
business, separating tasks as much as I can. And the first thing I did was thumbnail. And
Yep.
I only started with this person about 2 weeks now, and so far so good. So I'll
Yeah.
refer you if you need it. But that person, very good. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, thank you very much. Let me see when, and I'm going to go through. All right, guys, let's jump to um the surprise. So I asked you a question earlier. All right, the
Mm-hmm.
question I asked you earlier was, should someone had, let's say, 400 or 500 credit score, what credit card would you give them so that they can get a highest cashback as possible? Do you have any suggestion from that perspective? So bad credit,
Okay.
great card.
Okay. So what I'm gonna say, I don't know if you're gonna be happy about it, but this is
Oh,
what I'm gonna say.
I don't mind. Please
Okay.
share.
So if so I was I had someone that I was talking. I think they had maybe like a 500 credit score,
Mm-hmm.
five in the mid 500, 550, somewhere off in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I suggested them to do, and this is where it always is going to go back to understanding your finances. So let's say I would suggest getting a secured credit card, but with the
Secured credit
secured
card?
credit a secured credit card. So you have secured and you have unsecured. Typically, you're going to want an unsecured card because you don't want to use your money. You want to use the bank's money. But if
Yeah.
you have,
Just very quickly. So, do you mean by secured is kind of like a prepaid card? Is that what you mean by secured?
yeah,
All right, all
kind of
right,
like
all
a
right.
prepaid card.
Okay, I'm listening.
Um, so if you have a low credit score like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really hard for you to be approved for a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to suggest to do a prepaid credit card,
Mm-hmm.
and then by you understanding how much money you have coming in every month.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have $500 to $1,000, even if it's 500. So let's say 500. But see, the only thing about this is that $500 that you pick, that you put on there, it has to be money that you're almost just that you don't need anymore. So I would not suggest doing it if you need that $500, because basically you're going to be your bank. So I'm going to put $500. I would say the Discover It, they have a secure credit card. That's a good one. Even your banks like Regions and other banks, I would say do the Discover It because it has a zero annual fee. Because some of them, I want to say with Regions, it has an annual fee. And I'm like, how are you going to put an annual fee on a secure credit card? Like,
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
rough.
no sense.
That's
So
rough.
I would say do it on let's say the Discover It. So that's the one that I'm going to pick. The Discover
Discover
It,
it. Wait. Let me.
yeah.
Is that the name of the card? Discover.
Discover It. And it should be
Discover
a
it
secure credit card.
credit card. I'm just googling that and see if I can share with the audience too. It's because I'm going to compare it with one card that I have to share as well.
Mhm,
We're gonna put them. We're gonna have a credit card clash down
mhm.
or yeah, clash.
And I'm gonna put this in the chat for you because I can't see the other chat.
Yeah, the private chat.
Here
You
is a
can.
good here is a good website, The Balance. The Balance is a good website because it can give you so much information. So let's say you're looking for a secure credit card. You can go on The Balance and then you
Is
can
it the
go to
balance
credit
dot
card,
com?
The Balance,
Dot com?
.com.
Okay. Let me share with you guys what I see here.
Yeah, there it is. I
Yeah,
love
that's
this
it.
site.
The
Yeah, and
balance
so
dot
if you
com.
go up to the search,
Mm-hmm.
go to the search, and then type in secured credit card.
Yeah, we need a place like this for Canadians.
Yeah,
Secured
secured credit card.
credit card. Because yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying right now. I'm using credit karma as a way to find credit cards.
yeah. And so then
They
you
have,
can do so scroll down a little bit. Let me see.
let me see if I can zoom a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, right there. Scroll down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So best secured cards of December 20. Click on that one.
All right.
Okay, so scroll down a little bit. Okay, so right now they have, yeah, so they have the Discover It. So you see where it says 350
Mm-hmm.
to 850, and then it says the minimum deposit is $200.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and so
That's,
this, yeah, so I think that's a good one. So you have to have a
does it
minimum
give
of
any
two.
cash back though?
And let's see, I
You
think, yeah,
earn
it
two
says you earn
percent
up to two. Yeah, so
and
that
up
one
to
you can get
1,000.
cash back.
Oh,
But
they
see, the
limit
only
that
thing,
to $1,000. Says
yeah,
up
but
to a
see, this
thousand
is the
dollars worth.
thing. But this is the thing. Okay, even if you put $200 on there,
Mm-hmm.
every time you every time you purchase, pay the card off, because remember, we're using our credit card like a debit card. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you have a low limit, since it's a secured credit card, you still want to make sure you're doing good payment history, make sure you're keeping your utilization at zero. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're going to put 200, I would say, even like 500 is a good amount. But if you can only start with 200, start with 200, because it's going to help you. Because even you see right here, Discover may upgrade the credit card to an unsecured version as soon as 8 months from when you open it. So if you have good payment history, good utilization on the credit card for 8 months, and they can see you doing a good job with the credit card, then they're going to transition you from a secure card to an unsecured card, and then you'll get your 200 or your $500 back. And then plus you're still earning, you're still earning cash back.
All right, all right. Hey, we have Living Your Best Life here. Thank you very much for joining
Mhm.
in. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe.
Yeah,
And
Marlene.
but thank you very much. But nice to see you here. I haven't seen you here before. But hey, we make contents to help millennials increase their net worth, build generational wealth by any means necessary, whether it's crypto, stocks, business, or hacks in increasing your net worth. And that's why we have Tasha here. So thank you for joining the channel. I see also Calvin Washington had a comment. Thank you very much. Didn't
Let's
get a
see.
Capital One secure credit cards because I have them about 2 years and in still can't get an increase. I have one too. It took me a while to get an increase. I never applied for one, but I just had to wait for them to propose it to me, and that
Oh,
happened to me 3 months ago actually. And as soon as that happened, I noticed my credit score increased as well. But yeah, you're right. If you're using that for kind of like credit card hacks, Capital One is a little bit. I mean, in my
yeah, I
experience,
hear sometimes they're kind of stingy, and so that's why
stingy.
that's
Eh?
why I go back to you doing a strategy and knowing why you're applying, and then going
Yeah.
online and doing your research,
Mm.
because sometimes the credit cards, they could be stingy. Sometimes they take a long time to transition you from a secured to an unsecured.
Mm-hmm. And shout
Yeah,
out
this
to
Perry Unlikely said American Express Rose Gold. Perry, is that annual fee on that one? I think that one might got like a 550 annual fee on that one. I don't know.
sheesh.
But he said, but
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
Amex in general are expensive with their
Yeah,
fees, man. Like, and they're not accepted everywhere. That's so annoying. Like, there's many places I had one, and there's so many places I tried to use it, and they weren't accepting it. I don't know
yeah.
why.
But I hear, but see, the thing is, people that have American Express, like they swear by them, and they say that they have good perks, and they say that it's worth it. So I
All
mean, I
right,
don't know.
all right, all right. Hey, shout out to all my American Express guys in the chat. J Bones, Perry Unlikely. How you guys doing? All right, all right. Let me see. All right, so guys, okay, so thank you for this. Thank you for this. You give us a reference point we can use, and I agree. That's for secured card is the way to go if you have a low credit score.
Mhm.
And from that perspective, I'm also going to share my best pick for a credit score if you have a low credit score. All right, so this one said, let me share the screen. It said that you will earn 2% cashback because I'm a cashback guy. I love cashbacks. 2%
Mhm.
cashbacks on up to $1,000 worth of purchase at gas station and restaurants per quarter. Oh, okay. So the $1,000 is per quarter. That's fine, and you'll earn 1% back on everything else. Wow. So it's really
That's
basically
great.
a 1% except for gas and restaurants. If you buckle down and use this card as another tool, yeah,
Mhm.
sure, no worries. Okay, so 1 to 2%, perfect, perfect. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my credit card. Now, are you in cryptocurrencies? Like, do you invest in crypto? Do you search in cryptocurrencies? Are you familiar with cryptocurrencies and credit cards? What are your experience with cryptocurrencies, Natasha?
It's so funny that you asked me. And see, I'm gonna have the Intentional Millionaire on my channel next week. I think on the 13th. And
Yep.
so now that I'm paying off my car, I want to transition into Roth IRAs, but then I also want to do crypto. So
Mhm.
it was so funny because earlier this year, when the I can't remember the one that everybody was talking about. This was like around February of this year.
Yep.
So I had opened me up a Robinhood, and
Okay.
around this time, I had a credit card that was going to give me $250 cash back. So basically, what I did, I took $100 from the cash back that I received, and I was going to put it on. I'm going to say it's the Doge or
Yeah,
the
the
Doge.
Doge. You said it right.
Yeah, but Robinhood made me so mad because for some reason I could not get the Robinhood to link to my checking account.
Oh yeah.
So when it was really under 71 cents, because I think at the time it was like 26 cents, and then I was trying to get it linked, and then it went up to 71 cents, and then I never got in.
Man, let me give you because hey, this is how our channel works, right? The intentional millionaire is the guy. If you want to go with what RA or what RA, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the reference point in a small YouTube club right now. Go with him, absolutely. If you want to go with crypto, I would actually recommend Perry Likely. Go check out his channel. It's a very
I'm gonna have to get Perry to come on my channel, and I want you to come on my channel too because I know you
absolutely.
talk about. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I recommend a very unlikely start with him in it. Please don't invest in Doge. Please, very unlikely can give you better investments than this.
But you
Me,
know what?
I'm
You
both.
know
I'm
what?
both. Sorry.
But listen, this is how I considered it. I considered it like gambling, and that's where I always go to doing my budget to know
Mhm.
how much money do I have and how much money did I have to where if I lost it, I wasn't gonna be so upset about it. So I
All right.
looked at it that way.
All right. All right.
That's how I looked at it. So I looked at it as gambling that
Let
way.
me let me let me look at you in the eyes as I say this. The first rule of money is never lose money, and the second rule,
Right.
you never lose the first rule. Shout out to Warren Buffett, right? But I get it. That's exactly how I invest. I invest by, hey, I have a budget, right? I pay my budget first. I put that money aside. I never gamble that money. And whether you invest smart or whether you invest like really gambling, it's gamble, right? It's a gamble. But basically, when you invest smart, it's a smart gamble with the stats more likely to go in the direction that you predicted it's going to go. It's still a gamble. There's still a level of risk with that. And then if you don't invest it, well, I think it's a risk anyway because there is no such thing as saving money. With inflation, you're either going to you're either going to lose the purchase power, right? Or you invest it and you have to multiply that money as fast as you gain it, right? So that's the game, all right? That's the game. But here's my suggestion. It's great to invest in Doge if you have a great foundation. We talk about foundation just like you had one so that you can start with your credit cards and all that. It's the same thing for
Mhm.
cryptocurrencies. Start with a long term portfolio, things that are invested, just like a company. A company, you would look at their incomes, expenses, you would look at their cash flow statement, you would look at what they're producing, you would look at like if there is value, like something like Apple, right? There's a lot of demand for Apple, so Apple is going to do great in the next 5 years. That's a smart investment. It's still a gamble. It's a smart investment. But when it comes to Doge, I don't know. I mean, it will climb up, right? It will climb up, but it could also climb down very fast. And
I know, right?
if it's not backed by something of value that people want and need, that it
Exactly,
will not
right.
go back up again. So from that perspective, yeah, start with the great foundation on cryptocurrencies first, something like a long term, and then you could put 5 to 10%, whatever you want, on a gamble portfolio, and then with that go nuts. Like that's what I do. And so it turns out that my gamble portfolio rose at the same rate at my like it rose to equal in terms of dollar amount my long-term portfolio at some point this year.
Wow.
So yeah, some smart and great gambles you can make that can pay off. But I always recommend to start with the long term first, because my long term I'm never selling it, and that's the one that's my retirement plan right there. Should something happen with the
Mhm.
gamble portfolio, I can still have that as a cushion, and having that foundation helps me sleep at night very well. The market crashes, I'm excited because I'm like, yes, I'm going to buy more, etc. But yeah, I can
Right.
come to your channel too. We can have a discussion, great discussion.
Yes. Yeah. Cause see, that's what 2022 is gonna be all about me. Cause see, now that I'm gonna have more money since I got the car paid off. So now I'm gonna transition into stocks and Roth IRA, because I do have a 401k at my job,
Mhm.
but I want to get into stocks and maybe cryptocurrency. So
All right. Let's get into that. But all right, so I ask you this. Then the reason why I ask you this is because hey, while we're talking about companies with great foundation fundamentals, I spent my entire earlier this year. I spent a long time studying this company right here, and in the credit card world, that's an interest of yours already. I would definitely recommend you to
yeah.
look into this company. It's called a
Yeah, I saw.
crypto.com.
I yeah, I've been kind of looking into it, and I saw they have some kind of card, and you can get up to what was it, 10% back on if
Oh
you,
wait,
but you
wait,
got to
don't
have
worry.
a
We're
lot of
gonna get
crypto
into
in it.
that. We're gonna get into that. That's why I wanted to bring this conversation in. But yeah, I actually have one of their cards. Now, have any of your credit cards made you $30,000 in a year?
Right? No way.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm at so far. And based on my estimation, it could be more money. But yeah, I've made basically about $30,000 on this card this year.
Wow.
And it's a secure card as well, in the sense that it's a prepaid card. So as I had a
Yeah, because
low,
I'm trying to think what was the name of it? What's the name of it? Yeah,
it's a basically
this
a
purple one. Yeah.
crypto.com. Wait, I'm trying to show you the different range of cards they have. Oops, give me a second. I'll fix that. Give me a second. But I'm trying to show you the different cards. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
All right, so
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, the blue. Yeah, there it is.
yeah, so
Yeah, 8%. 8% was the highest.
I got this one for my mom, the Ruby Steel card, 2%. Um, I when I had it, you only needed 250 US dollars in the card, and it's not like you pay for the card, right? It's locked in the card, and if you lock $250 back then, they would give you 2%. Now you have to lock $400 to get the 2%, right? But whenever you want to unlock it, it takes like a couple minutes, and then you can use that money anywhere you want. And then I have this card for me, the purple one. I had to lock 2,500 earlier this year. Now it's $4,000, and next year one of my goal is to get this card. it's to
Wow.
it's to get the basically the 5% card. I mean, you have to lock a lot of money in, but the beauty of that is when you lock the money, you get paid weekly, and it's overall
Oh,
10%. It's 10% rewards, cash back. Actually, they even increase it with this card. They increase it to 12%. So you could earn
mm.
12% on this money, 40,000, and paid every week. So it adds up to 12% for the year, and on top of that, it gives you 5% on everything you buy. Everything you buy,
So is this
wherever.
kind of like is this kind of now, is that 440,000 in cryptocurrency or dollars?
So you have 40,000 US dollars. You buy the cryptocurrencies with it, and it's a specific cryptocurrencies that you have to buy. So the company called crypto.com, they have their own cryptocurrencies called CRO. So you buy $40,000 worth of that cryptocurrencies, you lock
Oh,
it
okay.
on their platform, and then they'll pay
Mhm.
you 12%, 10 to 12% on that money on top of the cash back that you get for all your expenses. So
Wow.
again, that
That
is
is
a high card. That is like a big player card, right? Like I don't have this card, but I had this card here. I have it. I still have it. I actually lost my wallet, so I'm in the process of collecting my card again. But I still have a virtual card online that I can use, make purchases.
mhm.
I had half of that money locked, and then I was enjoying 3% cash back for anything. This the 3% alone paid for the. I'm not saying paid, but it already gave me back the money that I locked into it. All right.
Wow. So
So
that's almost kind of like a secure credit card in a way.
exactly. It is a secured credit card. I locked in
Yeah.
2,500. It paid me back 2,500, and on top of that, because you're buying crypto with this money, not it's not cash, it's crypto. Because you're buying crypto,
Mhm.
it's gained value over time. So when I bought it, it was about 10 cents. Actually 8 cents. I bought it at 7 cents US, 10 cent Canadian, and then it rose up all the way to a dollar Canadian. So I basically made a 10x on my money on top of
Whoa.
that.
Okay.
So I had basically $25,000 from the appreciation of the card, the cryptocurrencies. I had an extra $3,000 back from my cash back, and on top of that, with referrals, I get another extra money as well. So I made some referral this year, and overall, it adds up to $30,000 that I've made this year with this card. And guess
Wow.
what? You get 100% cash back on Spotify, 100% cash back on Netflix. You get access to a lounge with this card. And yeah, this is the highest secured card I've ever seen in my life. So even with a low
Yeah.
credit score, 350, you can get this card because they don't check your credit score. When the crypto world, it's a different world and they don't care about credit score. So that would
Yeah. This
be
is great.
yep, that would be. I'm not trying to clash down with the Discover, but I'm just trying to show that hey, in the crypto world,
Right.
the cryptocurrencies are going to be, especially companies like this, they're going to be the banks of the future, right? They already have.
Mhm.
I use their platform for everything this year to pay my bills. I use their cards for my grocery shoppings, everything, my online spendings. So definitely recommend them. I've been using them for 11 months now, and yeah, I had a great experience so far. And yes, I'm working my way up to this because man, this just looks too good. 5%, and on top of that, I get the 12% on this. Yeah, I that's my goal this year to get
Yeah.
the
That's
ice to
great.
white card. Any thoughts on that?
I love it because on that one, because 40,000, 12%, that's going to be how much?
Well,
What?
basically,
42?
if 10,000 will be 4,000 US, right? If you lock in
Exactly.
40,000, you would get 4,000 US. And again, that's the beauty. That's the beauty. It's today's price, right? Over time, it appreciate over. Like when I did it, I only put 2,500. Now that 2,500 went to 25,000. And
Mm.
and let me show you why. It's because do you watch basketball?
Oh, Lord. I don't watch sports.
No worries, no worries. Well, I think you'll even if you don't watch football, you'll appreciate this news. And I see that some guys are new
Oh,
here. They
yeah. Okay. I know where you're going with this because the Staples Center, they bought the Staples Center. And so that's why, like, a lot of, so I kind of understood, I kind of knew because I kind of keep up with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah. So I knew what you were saying on that.
yes, yes, exactly. They made this announcement earlier. Was it last month? Last
Yeah, I
month.
think so.
Look
Mhm.
at this article right here. Um, Goodbye Staples Center, and Staples Center is like a classic
Right.
arena when it comes in basketball. This is where Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe
Exactly.
Bryant, Magic Johnson, even people that don't follow sports, you probably heard those names somewhere.
Right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if you're old enough to remember him playing. But all these people are basically won a championship in this stadium, and they used to call it Staples Center, but now they're going to call it crypto.com, not a name of a company, but a website,
Mhm.
right? Everyone is going to go on crypto. They're going to any announcers will be saying, "Welcome to the crypto.com arena." And guess what? They
Mhm.
were going to Google crypto.com. They're going to find deals like this. They're going to find cards like this, and that could be an introduction. That's the value that they bring.
Right.
It's an
Mhm.
introduction to cryptocurrencies, and their marketing. Their marketing are is impeccable. Look at this. Eh?
They got
You
Matt
recognize
Damon.
this guy?
Yeah.
so they have a lot of money, and they're going hard at it, and I think they might do very well. I think I'm not sure the cryptos, even at $1, I think it's undervalued, and they could go much higher over the years. So an investment like that, you're already interested in credit cards, you're looking into cryptocurrencies, that would be a great investment, something that you do as part of your fundamental, and then you look for other cryptos. I'm sure Perry Unlikely can give you a lot of them too. And in my channel, like I talk about a lot of them too. Me, I do the how to mix the crypto with stocks with business. I do all that together to achieve generational wealth, right? So that's what I do
Yep.
in my channel. But I love crypto. Right now, I would say 99% of my wealth is in crypto, and I'm slowly starting to diverge into real estate, into and buying stocks overseas and real estate overseas. So that will be my goal for next year as well. Any thoughts?
I love it. That's what I'm saying. 2022, that's my goal. I want to get into more stocks, cryptocurrency, and Roth IRAs. That's what I'm getting into in 2022.
Awesome, awesome. Let me go quickly on the comments, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah,
Running
because
out of.
see, I can't see any of the comments.
Hey, but that's good. That's good. That means you're focused. Let me see. Let me see. I saw a comment with to Peter Investor M.
Let's see.
While he was asking if you're an accountant. I find this question interesting. I'm very curious of the answer. But I work in leadership position in the past, and I had an LLC for a brief time. Accounting, finance were just an area of interest. Oh man, this brother right here. I'm not even sure if it's a brother or not, but this man right here is is a great, insightful. I would like to have a conversation with you one day, and
Does
talk
he
more
have a
about.
channel?
No, no, it doesn't. But hey, maybe you need to. The zero risk investment do not exist. Absolutely, yes. With inflation, especially last year, guys, they print 40% of all the US dollars in existence was printed last year, and this year we're already seeing the trend of printing more money, right? More
Mm,
money. If it's not going to be more stimulus package, we're looking at funds because we have a new variant out there, so we need more funds, right? There is
mm.
always something. There is always something that makes the government somehow print more money, and the more money is being printed, the less value each dollar has. When more value cryptocurrency will have, because that's a fixed amount, right? So keep that in mind. Teach us more about
Yeah.
crypto.
So I'm gonna Gene, most definitely. I'm gonna have him on the channel so he could talk to us about this. But you gotta, I'm pretty sure you subscribe to his channel and
Yeah,
he has
subscribe.
a lot of
I'm
good
happy to
information.
join
So
in. I'll answer all your questions you have. No problem. I'm very excited about all that cryptocurrencies. I think this is how us Black people we catch up. All right. I always give this reference of the cell phone, and I grew up in Haiti, the Caribbean. I was born in Canada, but I grew up in the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, you see how in the Western world, you guys had the cell phone, you had like the telephone, you had long distance, then you had the wireless phone, and then you slowly got into the cell phone. For us, we barely had the wired telephone in only the capital of the city. So long distance was very hard. And then all of a sudden, the cell phone happened, and within 2 years, everyone in the country, you could speak with them, right? So we skip a level, but somehow we catched up with the modern world with cell phone, and now we can call anyone in Haiti straight from here, and because they have a cell phone, right? It's the same thing that's going to happen with Black people and cryptocurrencies. I think we missed all the generational wealth, the industrial revolution, We all the life insurance that we could have got if we understood the game. I made videos about that on my channel. We miss all that, all the credit hacks that we could have done earlier if we knew it better. Our parents could have put our names in their own credit cards so that our credit score would be better. We don't know all that, but hey, now we can catch up with cryptocurrencies, and I'm the living proof of it. Last year at this time, my net worth was negative. I was negative in the thousands, right? And then this year I hit 6 figures in net worth, right? So yeah,
Wow.
that happened literally last week. Earlier, prior
Yeah.
to
See
that,
that?
I had
Yeah.
6 figures in assets. I thought I was going to have 6 figures in net worth. That actually happened last week, where I actually hit 6 figures in net worth. So in 1 year, and like I said, 90%. And that right now it's 99% of my wealth that is in cryptocurrencies. I'm going to slow it down this year. And I'm going to divert a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, but cryptocurrencies, guys, that's how you can catch up and learn the game. Shout out to Perry Unlikely for teaching us the game. Shout out to Wealth Engineering and all the comments that I get. And let me see more comments. I'm impressed. I was also amazed at your NFT info from on Frank Garden show last night.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. I made an NFT stream, and that's more of the games, guys. There is two streams that I make. There, if you're a beginner in crypto, it's a must watch. One of them is called "How to Get to Your Retirement with Cryptocurrencies with Staking." The thumbnail is written "Staking." The process of staking is simply means you lend your money to a platform and you get rewards in the process. Just like I'm lending my money with crypto.com and they give me 10% back on that money. So that's what staking is. Staking is just putting that money and lock it somewhere, as a bank should have been, right? Interest rate on a bank. So that's what it means. So yeah, check these out. Check the crypto staking stream. Check the NFT streams. These are very good for new beginners, people that are learning to learn more, like looking to learn more, and you can go from there. They bought the Staples Center for 700 million last month, absolutely, and it's for
Mm-hmm.
20 years. It's a 20 years deal, right? So
Wow.
this is a huge deal, and we're going to see more and more crypto companies doing moves like this. All right. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very disappointed they changed the
Yeah.
name Staple. That is true, man. It's a
Yeah.
legendary name, but guess what? Our kids are
Right. But
going
you
to
don't
know.
see any staples around anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Um, let me see. Let me see. Very quickly, very quickly. I don't have grandkids yet, so they will have wonderful gifts for them. Absolutely. Do it. Do it. Get
That
into
is
it.
great.
Yes, very unlikely. Their marketing, I think they have the best marketing in the crypto industry. And we're talking about over 10,000 different companies in the crypto world right now. And they have the best. They are the reference point for cryptocurrencies. Please make sure you hit the like, guys. Let me see. I'm actually going to start putting more NFT content out there. Perfect, perfect. So one guy you can subscribe to get more NFT content. And thank you for that. Thank you for putting more contents. I actually created a NFT yesterday, and I'll make that announcement
Ooh.
on the 1K party. All right. So we'll practice makes perfect, and that was a perfect occasion to practice
It
it.
does.
All right, all right. Really enjoyed the discussion. Thank you very much. Really enjoy having you here. And let me see.
Yes. Marlene.
Subscribe to have our early Christmas present. Thank you very much. And I own what? You own about
Whoa.
40 or 50 NFTs. It's addicting.
Dang.
Wow. Man, that's great. Right? Oh, man. The I'm trying. Don't trigger my competition side in me, right? Don't trigger that competition side in me because I might want to compete with that number one day. But anyway, let's leave it at that. Any last word? Thank you for again. Thank you for coming here, Tasha. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I learned a lot
Yeah.
from the perspective of building your credits. I hear a lot of discussions about the credit utilization, but I was very happy to talk to you about the other aspects, because me as an engineer, I love tweaking every little steps to get the best results. And I
Hmm.
have some great ideas on how I can improve my credit this year. And next year, maybe we can do a stream and review my credit score and see how much it did improve in a year. That could be some
Yeah,
great content
most
right there.
definitely. Marlene from Marlene TV, and then she has Living My Best Life. We talked. I don't know if it was even 6 months. She increased her credit score, I think, by 150 or 200, but I think she'll have to tell you for sure.
Wow.
So it is possible.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you for doing that. 150. Wow. Yeah, that takes dedication. Dedication. But hey, I'm up to I'll do as much as I can this year. And yes, I didn't see the comment from living your best life yet, but I want to give you a shout out to that yet. But is there any like last words that you have that you want to leave the audience with, and when it comes to building your
Yes.
credit?
I'll say first off, thank you for having me on your channel, and then congratulations on you getting 1,000 subscribers. And this is the longest live stream that I've done, so
Right.
that's great. But I will say the main thing is one, getting your money straight, getting your foundation solid. Two, creating a plan for yourself. Then three, um using your credit as leverage to do things. And so one, you want to use your credit cards like your debit cards, but paying them off. I would say paying them off every month, because we don't want to have credit card debt, because we want to be able to use our money to buy cryptocurrency, to do other things. But if we're all tied up with credit card debt, then that's not going to help us.
Mm.
So I would just say most definitely, we're moving into 2022. So take the time to understand where your numbers are right now, your just understanding how much money you have coming in compared to how much money you have going out, and then doing a debt snowball if you need to do a debt snowball, and just so that once we transition into 2022,
Mm-hmm.
um you can get better. Because what I always say on my channel, small changes can create big results, and but you got to
Mm.
create that plan for yourself, just like your channel, Wealth Engineering. We have the power to be able to do what it is that we need to, but we have to create a plan for ourselves first, and then we can do it. It's just going to be small changes, but you got to know where to start first.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you very much for this. So I'll just close the stream, but please stay on the panel. I'll talk to
Yeah.
you about
Uh-huh.
thumbnail you were asking. I'll show you my reference, and I'll share
Okay.
give more value back, right, for all the information you
Right.
provide. So give me a
Yeah, because
second.
if I can get your thumbnails, and then the intentional millionaire, his like the way his videos are edited are just
Oh,
amazing.
forget it.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta have a separate talk with him about his editing secrets. I don't know if he wants to share that, but
right.
I'll share the thumbnail with you. No problem.
Mhm.
But with that said, so let me close the stream. Give me a second. But thank you for coming on the panel, and let me know when you want,
And
whenever
everybody
you're
else,
ready
it
for
was,
me.
yeah, I had a
Whenever,
great time.
yeah, whenever you're ready for me, I'll join your panel as well, and we can have this crypto conversation.
Okay.
All right. See you soon. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. First, thank you for 1K. Thank you for 1K. We achieved this in the stream today, and also thank you for everyone who collected contributed to this conversation, the chat and Tasha together. It was a great learning experience. Enjoying this conversation as well. That's for one of my favorite streams this year. I say that a lot with many of my streams, but I truly appreciated this one, and I'm very curious to see how much I can increase my credit score this year. We'll wait and see what we can do. J Bone, shout out to you. Thank you again, Lindsay. But with that said, so we have couple streams coming. I want to transition a little bit from crypto to business in the next couple weeks. well, don't worry. We'll still have like clips, video clips, and comments and video content that I'll create throughout the weeks. But when it comes to streams, I want to transition a little bit to business as we're getting ready for 2022. For if you, any one of you are interested in side hustles, businesses, we're going to have a couple people to talk about businesses in the next coming weeks. But don't worry, cryptos are still going to be there. And yes, with that said, stay alert because I always put the upcoming streams on my channel. So if you are interested, if there is a topic that you want to join in the discussion, learn more about, make sure you put a reminder and hit the like early, and that it helps a lot. But with that said, thank you very much, everyone, for coming here. And until next time.
Boss, yeah. JC, bring that fire. Mentally taking you higher. Get the cash flow that you desire. Building that wealth, I should call you sire. You about to run it, I know it. We steady growing, this is the moment. You gotta subscribe, cause you don't wanna miss it. Wealth engineering, it's time to get it. Wealth engineering, stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth, till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering, it's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich, till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey.